BTCC touring car time again, and here we are with this season's bumper-to-bumper action. James Thompson took the title by 1 point in 2004, but that was his last touring car season. That leaves some familiar tin-top characters like Matt Neal, Ivan Muller and Jason Plato to fight it out with some promising youngsters who hope to put a few dents in their cars and their reputations. So this is what's on for the 2005 touring car season. 10 meetings, 30 races in all, and 3 sprint races for each meeting. The touring cars went to England, Scotland and Ireland. Wherever the cars went, we went with them. It all started in April at Donington Park. British Touring Cars welcomed its first female competitor in Fiona Leggett, driving the Vauxhall Astra Coupe. But Fiona didn't make it to the top of the grid. Pole position went to Colin Turkington, who was fastest in qualifying. Old rivals Matt Neal and Ivan Muller lurked behind. Let's go to the start and our commentators Tim Harvey and Ben Edwards.
Round 1 of the Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship all set to get underway here at Donington Park. It's Turkington versus Matt Neal on the front row of the grid. We're just waiting for the lights to come on, and who is going to get the edge? Away we go, and it's a good start from Ivan Muller from the second row, and Muller squeezes right through the middle. What a fantastic start by the Frenchman. He takes the lead. We've got problems for James Pickford. Pickford has been left behind and has not got away. He's obviously got some sort of clutch problem or gearbox problem. Plato being squeezed out. What a start from Ivan Muller. Colin Turkington is second, Matt Neal in third, and trying to take fourth is the MG of Rob Collard. Watch out for Collard through the crater curves. That's where it can be slippery, but Muller has stormed away. Collard into fourth, but he's made contact with Eves. Eves and Collard side by side, rubbing door handles, and Collard loses out.
Oh, and James Kay's been turned into a spin. Hopefully no one collects him. Well, that could have been very dangerous. To stay out of the gravel, James. Oh, there's more contact, and that's Matt Neal and Turkington for second place. This is letting Muller get away. He's fantastic on cold tyres anyway, and got a brilliant start, slotting straight through the middle of the 2 front row men.
Yeah, really good stuff from Ivan Muller. And now look at Matt Neal up into second place. Colin Turkington, the pole sitter, now finds himself down in third, and behind them there's a good battle going on too, as Jason Plato tries to get down the inside of Dan Eves. Plato slots the Seat past the Honda Integra, and through the chicane they come, kicking up the dirt already, trying to shortcut the chicane as much as possible, and Plato now has moved up to fourth. Just over 9 laps completed in the first round of the touring cars from Donington Park, and Ivan Muller, who ran away in the early stages, is now beginning to come under a little bit of pressure from second place man Matt Neal. And just look how much that gap has reduced. It was 1.3 seconds last time around from 2 seconds a lap or so before that, and we'll check the gap again as they come across, but Matt Neal is flying. 1.3 it says on his pit board, now it's 1.0, and Matt Neal is still closing.
Let's see if Muller looks in the mirror. Yes, he's looking in the mirror already now. That's a surefire sign that he's under pressure. A lot of looking in the mirrors.
Yeah,
and even a bead of sweat.
That's not something we... Oh, and that's why, because... no, that's Dan Eves, actually. That's Dan Eves coming up on the other car of Turkington. So, changes there. Dan Eves has suddenly caught Colin Turkington, and Dan Eves now going to take third place. Yes, what's happening to the Vauxhalls? The Vauxhalls' race performance is perhaps not quite as it was in qualifying, and perhaps they've come up with a setup that's great over a one lap or the early laps of a race, but as the tyres continue to build up heat, they're struggling, and Rob Collard now has got a chance of getting past Turkington as well. Oh, he's wide there. Oh, he's made a mistake there. And just as I was saying how well he races here at Donington, he just made the slight slip up, and Collard's there.
Well, Collard was perfectly positioned there just as he put him under pressure going up to Coppice, made him defend. Well, will he attack back? That's always been another trademark of Turkington's, that as soon as he's passed, he tries to attack back, but he just wasn't close enough there.
Oh, and into the pits also is James Kay in the Synchro Motorsport Honda. That's a disappointment for that enthusiastic and hard-working team. But look how close McNeil is now to the back of Ivan Muller's Vauxhall. This race is certainly not over yet. How encouraging is this, that two new cars are so evenly matched in the first race of the year, not carrying ballast, and there's nothing to choose between them at all, as Ivan Muller just locks that brake slightly again coming into the old hairpin. McNeil can't take advantage of it though. He needs to carry a little bit more speed. It's not quite there for him, and he will hound Ivan Muller, but Muller does not normally... Oh! He's gone wide and McNeil's through! McNeil's taken the lead. Where did that come from? Ivan Muller didn't expect it. He left the door open and McNeil is through.
Well, Ivan Muller will be absolutely kicking himself. He must have thought he had enough of a gap not to defend, and Matt just kept his foot on the throttle for long enough to just drive up the inside. A brilliant pass. Maybe Muller was expecting it to come here at the chicane. I certainly was, and he just got caught napping. A brilliant pass.
So McNeil has worked hard, he's hounded the race lead, he's caught him and he's passed him on the last lap, and it's McNeil who takes the first win of 2005. Fantastic for the Team Halfords entry. Look at this one, Jason Plato still battling with Luke Hines and Gavin Smith. Gavin Smith in the third of the Vauxhalls, trying to nip through at the end there, but he can't quite do it. Plato finishes in 6th place, Hines in 7th, Smith in 8th. But it's McNeil, winner at Donington, this circuit that he loves, that has been so good to him in the past. It's been good for him right here, right now. He beats Ivan Muller. What a result for the team. This brand new car has worked first time out, and he's the winner.
McNeil then starting as he meant to go on. Would this finally be the year for the independent Team Halfords? Not if Ivan Muller had anything to do with it. He was second, Dan Eaves a promising third. 4th place went to Collard, Turkington a strong 5th with Plato in 6th place in the Seat. There was a slight change to the grid qualifications this year. The first grid was decided by qualifying, while the second depending on the finishing positions of the first race. So that gave McNeil the advantage over Muller, Eaves, Collard, Turkington and Co. as they headed for that all-important second race. Honda out front though at the early stage in the season.
The second start of the day, we're waiting, now the lights are on, and it's a very quick change as they go out. A good start from Rob Collard from the second row, although the gap is closed in front of him, and it's Ivan Muller who again gets off the line extremely well. Oh, Collard squeezing into second place there. Collard into second, McNeil's dropped down to third, and behind him there's a good battle between Colin Turkington and Dan Eaves as they come through Redgate. It's Ivan Muller with the early advantage. Look at Plato. Plato on the inside in the Seat. Oh, he's hit Turkington, I think, and off goes the Vauxhall. Colin Turkington is on the grass. Can he keep it off the tyres? Oh, he's skating on the grass, but there may well be damage to the suspension as well as to the front bumper, and Turkington in big trouble in the early stages. Collard with the green stripe down the centre of the MG is using this opportunity to use that experience he got in race 1 in this car. He hasn't raced this car before this weekend. He's only done a minimal amount of testing in it. They were here for the media day a couple of weeks ago, but he seems to have jumped in. Oh, but McNeil's gone for the inside. McNeil trying to take second place. He's almost alongside as they come through Redgate corner, and Collard there caught out a little bit like Muller was in race 1, but Collard has the inside line for the Craner curves. McNeil will be on the dirty side of the track here. That's going to be tricky. Now he'll have the inside line into the old hairpin. Oh, and finally he completes the move.
Great side-by-side racing, and a lot of respect shown for each driver there, because they didn't want a repeat of that incident on the first lap, but certainly they were giving each other just enough room. But McNeil back on a charge.
This car seems to be good once it's up to temperature. It's not perhaps quite so quick on the first lap. There, unfortunately, is Colin Turkington's car being pushed back into the garage. Race over for the young Northern Irishman. Collard's gone for a second place. He's down the inside, rubbing wheel arches as they come through. There's a car going slowly on the inside there, but it's not going to affect them. James Kay limping round, but Collard into second, or is he? Because McNeil still got the inside line through the Craners. They're still side by side. Oh, Collard with a good speed through the second section there, and surely now he's retaken second place. comes Collard hunting Ivan Muller. Moves to the outside. Muller, though, as we saw, is quick through the chicane. He bounces over the curb, uses some of the grass, stays ahead and goes on to the final lap. Can Collard do what Matt Neal did in race 1 and find that little chink in Ivan Muller's armour?
Well, it's difficult to see where it's going to come. I suppose really the chicane is the best bet, but Muller couldn't defend into there. He's not going to be looking, leaving the door open. Look at him, looking in the mirrors. He doesn't want to get done again. He needs to score that first victory for the Astra.
He looks under pressure today. You don't often see Ivan Muller really trying that hard, but I think he's trying very, very hard here today. And now Rob Collard has only got a few corners in which to challenge. Now, this is the area where Matt Neal nipped through in race number 1. Watch Ivan Muller's line. He defends this time. He's on the inside line, and that's the place to be because it prevents Collard getting alongside. Now he's just got to keep it clean up through Coppice. Collard's not challenging here. That's probably sensible. His best chance is a good exit here. And now build up the speed. Use the slipstream of the car ahead, that hole in the air that it makes. Can he now slipstream past the Vauxhall as they head down towards the chicane, looking to try and get down the inside? Muller's not going to leave him room there. His only hope is to go around the outside, but that's risky, and he slots in behind. Collard, I think, is going to have to settle for second. He's pushing Muller almost as they come out of the final corner, but it's the Frenchman, Ivan Muller, who holds on to take the first ever win for the Vauxhall Astra Sport Hatch on its debut. Pickford's just got past Luke Hines. James Pickford has just gained a position on Luke Hines, but I wonder if Luke Hines not being canny there because he knows that will gain him a place on the grid for race number 3.
Ivan Muller then turning the tables on Matt Neal. For many, this was the way the season would pan out. Muller against Neal, but Jason Plato was there and thereabouts. The youngsters were there too, Rob Collard and Dan Eves. So 30 seconds to round 3 at Donington, and this is where the grids got shaken up. For the third race of every meeting, the first 10 finishers were in reverse order on the grid. That put Richard Williams on pole, followed by Luke Hines and James Pickford. But the joy would be short-lived for Richard Williams.
They're going to be taking their positions on the grid. And what's going on here? Richard Williams is pulling off. Richard Williams in the Lexus. He should be starting from pole, but he's going into the pit lane. It looked like their big opportunity, but Timmy's in the pit lane.
Well, they've had a lot of little niggles with the car. Maybe he felt there was something he wasn't quite happy with on that outlap, and he's decided to take the safer option and go to the pit lane. But it does present Luke Hines with a great opportunity.
Clear space in front of James Pickford as well. It looks like a Seat Benefit now, doesn't it? Because you can see Plato there as well. The yellow and silver colours of the Seat, and the Vauxhall of Gavin Smith is tucked in there somewhere. And we've also got Turkington at the back, Muller near the back. Who's it going to be? The red lights are on. The red lights go out. Round 3 gets underway. Good start from Gavin Smith and from Jason Plato. So Gavin Smith on the right-hand side as we look at it. He's in the Vauxhall. Jason Plato is on the inside. I think he's going to try and take second. Rob Collard coming around the outside in the MG. Oh, and a big slide there. Almost off, and off goes Luke Hines. Almost thought he was going to catch it for a moment, but Luke Hines is off as they come through Redgate Corner, and problems for him.
Oh, and James Kay's off. Disastrous day for him, but a great start for Plato. He's got himself up front, and from nowhere shot up Collard, Rob Collard. Another brilliant start round the outside. Oh, and a look up the inside. Look up the inside. That's Matt Neal with that same move that he made on the very first race to pass Muller, and that looks like Muller taking advantage as well.
Yeah, Ivan Muller's taken advantage, as you say. So as Matt Neal dived up the inside, Muller said, yep, okay, let's go. Got past his teammate, and let's go on board with Matt Neal. So he's moved up into that position now. He's only got the 2 leaders ahead of him, Plato and Rob Collard, who are going side by side into the chicane. Matt Neal is the danger man in the orange car. Bit of a lock-up from Gavin Smith there behind Ivan Muller in the Vauxhall. He got away with it, I think, as Rob Collard continues to attack, continues to push, and Matt Neal trying to close up the gap. Ivan Muller was very fast on that last lap though, and Ivan Muller's catching Matt Neal too. This is going to become a 4-way battle for the lead any moment now, but if anybody can hold a queue of cars behind him, it's Jason Plato. and there's Matt Neal. Matt Neal lunges up the inside of Rob Collard. There's a slight contact, but he's in position now. He's got the inside line into Coppice, and Matt Neal goes into second place. He's aggressive, he's hard, but I think he's fair, Tim.
That was perfectly fair. He got the car equally alongside. He didn't tap the rear. He got the car alongside. They rubbed a little bit, but he's got a new favourite overtaking place, hasn't he?
It's getting serious. The third race, Plato keeps it very tight, and Matt Neal is forced to just follow it through. Muller though, Muller and Collard, look at this, side by side, almost on the grass there, Muller. He is on the grass for a moment, and Tanny's just trying to get past both of them, down the Craner curves. Muller's on the rough stuff on the outside, Collard's got the grip. Muller now trying to squeeze through into the old hairpin, and Eves will take advantage if he's not careful. Eves is going to take the place as well.
Great timing there by Dan Eves and Ivan Muller to open that gap up, and certainly it was a good move. We've seen some side-by-side racing.
Oh, the leaders!
Look.
The leaders!
There's Matt Neal going for his favourite overtaking place. Muller will pounce on his old rival Plato, but Neal's going to take the lead.
So Plato's gone from first to third to fourth. He's gone to fourth because Dan Eves has gone through as well. Matt Neal is race leader. Ivan Muller's up to second place. It's all gone wrong for Jason Plato because Matt Neal is as aggressive as we've seen him. He's charging through. And now look at Dan Eves in the second of the orange cars. He's got Plato. He's lost another place because here comes Collard. Or does he? Plato's using the grass now to try and hold on, but he can't do it.
Plato is going to be livid. He's fought the brave fight to the front, but there's just no way he can hold off. And look at this, Muller and Matt Neal have been side by side all day today with a victory apiece. Now it's going to be down to who's got the best chance. Matt Neal's got to show that he can defend as well as Muller can.
I tell you what, fastest lap's gone to Dan Eves, who's the third car of the train coming down here. Here in comes Dan Eves with fastest lap. He's now going for second. He's got past Ivan Muller. It's a 1-2 for Team Alphas, but for how long? Here comes Muller back at him, and Muller now trying to put the pressure on him as they come towards Redgate. But these cars are working very well indeed, and Muller's got his work cut out here, side by side into Redgate. Eves has the advantage. Muller can't do anything about it. He has to settle for third, and if he's not careful, Rob Collard's going to have it. Careful, and they both get through safely. This is to go on to the final lap. Can Dan Eves pull something out of the bag here and get past his teammate? What a team performance this is, but honour is at stake. He would love to take victory. Matt Neal's already had a win. He says it's my turn now.
Yes, I'm sure they'd love to have a win each, but he's certainly not holding back. And look how defensively Matt's having to drive. I hope this doesn't end in tears or let Muller get through, because it would be a shame to throw away this one too, but who knows.
We're into the final half lap, and it looks as though Matt Neal is going to take 2 wins out of the 3 races at Donington Park this weekend. He was aggressive when he needed to be. He was smooth when he needed to be. Now can he fend off his teammate at the last corner? Yes, I think he can. Matt Neal is going to have a fantastic Donington weekend by winning 2 of the opening 3 rounds of the championship. Dan Eves takes second place. What a team performance that was.
And what a day it was turning out to be for Matt Neal, with 2 BTCC wins now under his belt. Dan Eves, his teammate, came in after him, while Ivan Muller had to settle for third. So it was the Honda boys from Team Halfords who were celebrating at Donington Park in April. And they had good reason. The leaderboard made particularly pleasurable reading for Honda and Team Halfords too. Matt Neal had established a 2-point lead from Ivan Muller, while Dan Eves was third after the first meeting. The sun was up at Thruxton in Hampshire for 2005 rounds 4, 5 and 6. The crowds that had gathered here were about to witness British touring car history. This is the grid for round 4. Tom Chilton on pole, followed by former champion Jason Plato. Ivan Muller and Matt Neal were back in 5th and 6th place.
It's a 16-lap race. It's round 4 of the Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship, and it's new pole sitter Tom Chilton, his first ever pole from qualifying. Away they go, rolling a bit. Good start though from Chilton. Oh, but it's a good start from Colin Turkington. Turkington's made a great start in the Vauxhall. Look at him go around the outside at Allard. Jason Plato in third place. They're going to be all together as they head up towards the contact between Chilton and Turkington. Who's going to get into the right-hander first? Chilton with the edge, Turkington on the outside. Now he's being muscled by Plato. Has Plato got the line through the second part? Yes, he has. Turkington goes back down to third place, and Plato holds on to second. As they head down towards Church Corner on virtually cold tyres. Look at Rob Collard getting past Gavin Smith. There's Muller. Muller right there, starting from the back, and already, oh, it's sideways Muller. Fantastic car control from Ivan. We're so used to that, but that's the fastest corner in British motorsport, and he held it sideways, and he's still picking off the places. There's James Pickford also trying to pick up a place. They're all together. Luke Hines charging through the middle of the pack as well, and Ivan Muller has been muscled out there. He lost several places as a result of going sideways. Pickford squeezed very wide.
This is the Turkington-Halford sandwich further up the front. Neil's still to get past, but Eves has got past.
Yeah, Dan Eves has moved up to third place, and now it's the battle for fourth place between Colin Turkington and Matt Neal. Are the Honda Integras going to show their form again in the latter stages? Still only 4 laps completed out of the 16. So coming around the back, Ivan Muller now really attacking, and he's got a great chance to get past with a gaggle of other cars, and Luke Hines is just trying everything here to hold off, not just Muller, but James Kay. This Honda of James Kay, oh, he's sideways, is Kay, he could be off, he's on the grass, takes the Dunlop banner with him, and poor James Kay does get back on, but oh, that's not going to do much for the engine temperature.
No, but I'm sure Dunlop will be giving him some free tyres, but there's no way he can carry on with that, because unless that falls off, it's going to send his engine temperatures through the roof.
James Kay, he's finally got rid of that banner, and he has stopped, so perhaps the engine temperatures have gone too high. 8 laps completed out of the 16, half distance in this first race. Jason, oh, hang on, we're just having a look where there's a problem with Chilton.
Chilton's not come round. Chilton's not come round on that lap, so we've got there. That's Chilton in the pits. Wow, what bad luck for Chilton. He's got a puncture already. Well, goodness me. That's the left front, that's the tyre that takes all the damage. They have got an aggressive setup on that car. He stalled it there. They had an aggressive camber setup on that car to get the pole position. Has that paid against him? He's got the overlap, he's got it, he's got the inside, and Jason can't come back really. He hasn't got the speed and the length of the straight to do it. That's a beautiful pass.
Fantastic stuff from Dan Eves. Can he hold it into the chicane? There might be a little bit of a rub, but no, it's so clean between these two. And Dan Eves has taken the lead. Dan Eves comes across the line. He's out in front. He just gets the P1 on Dan's board, and he is in front. Well, he's won here in the past in other categories, but never in touring cars. But Dan Eves could have an opportunity this time to take victory at Thruxton. Here he comes then, Dan Eves looking to take his first win of the 2005 season and really mount a championship challenge in the early stages. He lies third in the points already coming into this meeting at Thruxton, but he is going to take the first win of the day. A fantastic drive from Dan Eves. He controlled the early stages by looking after his tyres, and then when the car came good, he came through to take the victory.
So the first win of the day was a first British touring car victory for Dan Eves. The 29-year-old from Jason Plato and Matt Neal delivered a consistent third place. Turkington another strong finish in fourth, with Collard fifth and Muller in sixth place. Honda were painting Thruxton Halfords orange, and that gave Dan Eves the perfect opportunity to double his tally of touring car victories. He was on pole position for the second race at Thruxton, followed by Plato, Neal and Turkington.
"16 laps once again ahead of the field for the second race here at Thruxton. It's round 5 of the Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship. Dan Eves on pole position, trying to make it 2 out of 2. It's a good start from the orange Honda with Jason Plato moving into second place. He'll have to try and shut the door on Matt Neal, though. Matt Neal's on the inside there, and he couldn't quite do it. Those 2 other Seats towards the backer, side by side as they head through the first corner. Watch Matt Neal in car number 5. He's got a chance to take second place here from Jason Plato. Eves is the one who leads. There's some bumping and barging go through the first part of the complex. Plato hits Neal. He's sideways, but he gets it back. Muller's trying to get around the outside. Collard squeezes through on the inside, and somehow they all got through it, and Dan Eves is disappearing thanks to all this.
Well, they've given Dan the perfect start that he wanted. Maybe he could win by 20 seconds, but that was Neal and Plato fighting it out through the complex side by side, and Turkington's gone through to second.
No, I think it's Muller. I think it's Ivan Muller. Ivan Muller's come up to second place, the master of Thruxton. I don't know how he did that, Tim, but somehow he's there. But now Matt Neal's trying to get past.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, but they were fighting it out into Church side by side. Matt Neal's got the inside.
Let's have a look. Yeah, he's got it, I think, although now Ivan Muller's on the inside, and that's for the chicane, so Matt Neal has to stop behind him. Look at Jason Plato's there, Collard in the green and black MG as well, Plato in the yellow and silver Seat. He's now got a chance to move up to third. He's got past Matt Neal, and Collard's trying to get round the outside of Matt Neal. He does it too, and Matt Neal's lost about 3 places in one go.
Well, it's not often you see Matt Neal muscle down the pack, but it happened this time. But what a fantastic lap by Ivan Muller. He really hooked it up. I was so amazed to see him up there. I thought it was Turkington who'd actually started in front of him.
And Jason Plato now looking for the inside line into the chicane. Oh, he hits Muller. He's turned him sideways. Muller's still got his foot in. Oh, wonderful control from Ivan Muller.
That was the most amazing save I have ever seen in touring cars. Believe me, he's trying to slow the car down and the car's trying to spin. His only way to save it is to get on the throttle. When he wants to be braking, he put a little bit of steering lock on and then wound it off. It was so perfect. This is Plato on board. He's got this is Muller, so he's about to turn sharp right as the back gets tapped out. He's across the grass. He has to floor the throttle to bring the front back end round. It comes round perfectly, gets the lock off, gets off the throttle, and look at that, he's lined up perfectly. What a brilliant save.
That was one of the finest pieces of car control I've ever seen on a race circuit. This was the view from onboard Plato's car. Now Plato nudges Muller there, you see. Look how sideways Muller is. He's completely broadside, and he still gets it turned into the chicane. Fantastic. Here comes Matt Neal. Matt Neal's got alongside Plato, and he's through. He's got into third place.
And that's going to help. That's going to help Chilton as well. Oh, Pickford's gone through as well.
Must have a problem, surely. This is what happened. See what happened here. Plato was on the brakes, and Matt Neal just got through on the inside. Oof, a little bit of a nudge. There's the leader. We haven't seen a lot of him really because he's out on his own. Oh, here comes Matt. This is where he did Plato as well. What a good move from Matt Neal. A little bit of a kiss as he goes past, and he's into second place. Wow, that's the place that Matt Neal likes best here at Thruxton.
Well, Matt always finds a place. This is where he comes. Muller's just only moved out to halfway to give himself a line through Goodwood, but Matt just sticks the car in there, and it's a perfectly fair, clean pass. How Matt's got the grip to do that and the confidence to do it is incredible, but he always finds somewhere to pass, doesn't he? That's the great thing about Matt.
The race leader is Dan Eves. He's just backed off a little bit on the last lap or so. I think he's okay. I think he's just treading carefully, looking after the tyres. He is going to take his second win of the day, and well, what a great achievement it is, not just for him but for the team as well. This independence team, remember, it's not a factory-backed team. Team Halfords, they've built these cars themselves. Team Dynamics, who run the operation, they've built these cars to their own design. their own designers, their own engineers. They've put it all together, and they are certainly showing the field the way to go, not only at Donington, but even more so at Thruxton. Race number 2, round 5 of the championship, goes to Dan Eves, with his teammate Matt Neal finishing in 2nd place. 3rd goes to Ivan Muller, 4th to James Pickford. But the win goes to Dan Eves, 2nd place to Matt Neal. What can you say about that team performance?
Dan Eves notching up another touring car victory, while Matt Neal made it even a better day for Team Halfords with a useful 2nd. Ivan Muller, though, managed to keep in touch in 3rd, while Jason Plato settled for 5th place. So the question on everyone's lips, could Dan Eves make touring car history with 3 wins out of 3? With 2 already under his belt, you wouldn't bet against him. So it was all change for round 6, with Gavin Smith on pole and James Kay just behind him. Then came Hines and Turkington, and Dan Eves would start 10th.
Round 6 of the 2005 Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship about to get underway here on the fast curves of the Thruxton circuit. And who gets away well? It's a good start from both front row men, but particularly Luke Hines in the Seat, and Tom Chilton also going well. And look at Colin Turkington in the mix. Turkington with the white windscreen strip across the top of the Vauxhall's windscreen. He's coming up into 2nd place now, and it's Luke Hines who has made the best start and leads as they come into the complex. Contact there, and Kay's off, I think. Oh no, it's one of the Vauxhalls that's off, and Chilton's in trouble. He's on the grass as well, and so's Turkington, and we've got cars off at the complex. Well, it's been so clean today, but unfortunately in the final race it all goes wrong into the complex. Sure enough, it is the safety car on circuit, so everybody will just have to slow down, stack up behind the safety car. James Kay's off there as well in the Honda. Oh, he's having a miserable day. Now the safety car lights are out. I think we're going to get racing underway again here. Safety car heading back towards the pits now, and the race gets underway once more. So it's Luke Hines, the youngster for the Seat team, and he leads across the line from his teammate Plato. It is close between the top 2 Seats at the moment. There's James Pickford also coming through. Pickford trying to get past Dan Eves, but look at Jason Plato hounding his teammate Luke Hines, and Hines holding on for the moment, but for how much longer? Oh, over the curb, sideways there, Luke Hines. You can't afford to do that sort of thing for too long with Jason Plato behind you. Just a little slip up like that, and Plato will be through.
And wasn't it interesting to see how much the front wheels were moving just to balance that car? It was a great onboard shot from Plato's car, who's got a good run through Church. Now he's got an overlap, but can he hasn't got the speed to do it? Hines is not defending, he's left the door wide open, but who's going to break the latest? It's Plato.
Yeah, here comes Plato, he's going for the lead, he's taking the lead into the chicane, and it's Plato in front for Seat with a 1-2 at the moment.
Oh, that was a great lie!
Oh no, it's all gone wrong this time. Collard does manage to gather it back together, and a little tap there from Dan Eves. When he went for that late lunge up the inside, he was committed and unfortunately ran into Collard.
Yeah, it was. The road sort of bends away at the inside there, and Rob was against the inside and then came out wide and just fractionally opened the door.
Side by side for 2nd place, 1 boy member comes up on the outside.
Hines keeps control, bounces over the curb though, loses time, Muller's right there.
Where's Matt Neal though? Where's Matt Neal? Did that give Matt Neal a run up the inside?
Yeah, well, Matt Neal is
not
close.
quite enough.
This is good stuff. Matt Neal very much in the action now, not far behind. Matt Neal is still Colin Turkington despite a very battered car. He's in there too in the Vauxhall, but it's Seat, and then Vauxhall at the moment. Vauxhall here of Ivan Muller, desperate to find a space, but Matt Neal's through. Matt Neal's got past Muller, has he? Can he hold it through the last part of the complex? No, Muller's got the inside, he'll squeeze Matt Neal, but he's given him
And
just enough room.
Turkington's come up on the right-hand side.
Oh,
poor old Muller's going to lose lose 2 places. Matt Neal's in the right place for the left-hander there. He'll be delighted to get past.
But look at Turkington as well.
They've both got back inside Matt Neal.
So now it's Turkington who's taken over that position. He's into 3rd place. And who's 4th? I don't know. Is it Muller? Is it Neal? They're still side by side as they come out of Goodwood and head down towards Church. Muller with the advantage in terms of position on the inside. Can he hold it? Yes, he can.
Well, fantastic opportunist driving by Turkington. He's obviously fired up after that first incident. And look at this, Dan Eaves is now right behind his teammate and with a huge slipstream coming off Church. Look at Dan. Can he get all the way around the inside and cover the inside? I think he can. Fantastic. Oh, he's even run a little bit deep there. Well, they'll be so frustrated behind Muller with the oil pouring out. There's not obviously anything wrong mechanically with Muller's engine at the moment, but it's just a case of will there be enough oil in that engine to last the rest of the race?
We're on board with Ivan. And for once, he's not perhaps looking quite as cool as normal.
He looks like he's almost snarling there, doesn't he? He's got his looking in every mirror, every which way. Maybe, just maybe that car's starting to slow down. Is that engine starting to tighten up? Because he's the fastest man through Church Corner for sure, but he was definitely not the quickest man up the straight there. So Eaves gains another place. A man is inspired, Dan Eaves.
He is. He's now into 4th place. He started 10th on the grid. He's carrying maximum ballast as a result of winning the last race. But that's not slowing Dan Eaves at all. He's into 4th place, and now he's chasing after Turkington. Now, we've just heard that there could be a drive-through penalty for none other than Jason Plato. Yeah, it's been confirmed on our monitors. He has a drive-through penalty. Jason Plato is leading this race by 3.8 seconds, but he will not win now. He's got a drive-through.
I'm sure that must be for the change of positions. That must be for overtaking Muller under the safety car. But Plato's going to be livid because he's giving away a 3.8 second lead. He's going to come round. His team will have probably told you already. He's going to be incandescent with rage. But if he did overtake Muller under the safety car, it is the penalty that's in the book. What is he doing?
That's Hines,
That's
I think.
Hines.
And Pickford trying to get past. That was Hines in the battle. There's Plato. Plato rejoining and has come in right at the back of that group. But it all went crazy into the complex. Turkington uses the curbs a little bit, lost a bit of time in the middle of the chicane there. This is giving Matt Neal a great chance to close up, but where can he go? He can only go to the outside because Turkington defends the inside.
Yeah, but he's got a good run through here, through Allard. He's going to try out the inside. Turkington will have to defend. If he defends into the complex, he's going to be slow out of it. Matt needs to be setting this up to get through the 3 corners, or will he go side by side? Here we go, he's going to do it, but there's going to be a bit of pushing, and Turkington just hangs on. He's battered his car already, so he doesn't give a damn about that, but that was really good racing.
I think Matt Neal was half on the grass through the second part of the complex there, but credit to both of them. They drove superbly and they're both still in the race. It's Dan Eaves who's disappearing once again out in front, but who's going to be second? It's Turkington. Here's the favourite move from Matt Neal, but again Turkington just has it tight enough, and right behind them there's Ivan Muller also getting closer, trying to get his Vauxhall up past Matt Neal's Honda Integra Type R. And don't ever count Ivan Muller out of a race when he's still in it. It's still Pickford behind him, and then Jason Plato. I don't think Plato's going to be able to do much now, but as we come up to the chicane for the final time, it's Dan Eaves who is going to take a brilliant hat-trick at Thruxton. But what is going to happen for second place? It's side by side into the chicane. It's Turkington right there and Matt Neal as well. I think Turkington's just going to hold it, but Ivan Muller trying to get Matt Neal as they come to the line. Turkington takes second, and Muller just took third on the line. Brilliant run from the Frenchman to grab that place as they came over the start-finish line. But what about Dan Eaves? Unbeaten here at Thruxton today. He had 1 win in his career before this meeting. Now he's got 4.
What a performance from Dan Eaves. His first 3 BTCC victories. He happens to make history with a clean sweep at Thruxton. Colin Turkington came in second, while Muller and Neal followed up in third and fourth. So, as you would expect, Dan Eves took a pretty healthy lead in the championship, surging to an 8-point lead over Matt Neal, who was opening up a useful gap on Frenchman Ivan Muller. The touring cars moved to Brands Hatch Indy Circuit in early June, and for car fans, the memories of Danny's heroics at Thruxton were still fresh. No wonder there was a smile on Dan's face as he prepared for rounds 7, 8 and 9 at Brands. And Eves had a pretty useful start in qualifying too. He was second on the grid just behind teammate Matt Neal, but the Vauxhalls of Ivan Muller and Gavin Smith were right behind.
Round 7 of the Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship gets underway at Brands Hatch, and it's a very even start from the front row men, but it's Matt Neal who takes the lead. Danny's trying to close down Ivan Muller side by side. Muller muscles through. Ivan Muller, not to be denied, into second place. He splits the two Team Halfords cars. Matt Neal will look in his mirror and he'll see that it's not his teammate that's behind him. It is Ivan Muller, and as they come around the hairpin for the first time, Matt Neal leads. Ivan Muller in second, Dan Eves in third, and then the other two Vauxhalls absolutely together, running in fourth and fifth place. Then it's Rob Collard, and we're keeping an eye on those Seats too. We're on board with Tom Chilton at the moment as they head along towards Surtees for the first time. He's running in ninth place, and he's right behind Luke Hines, Jason. Oh, and as a spin, that's Gavin Smith in the Vauxhall. I don't know whether he got a tap there. I think he might have had a nudge from someone.
It was Rob Collard trying to force his way through after a little bit of a poor start, and he's had contact there with Smith, but it was a very even start at the front. Muller will be happy to have gained at least one place. Dan Eves just couldn't get across in front of him.
Here we are, third place man, Dan Eves. Watch the brakes. Interesting to see the brake lights flashing on through Surtees. Bit of left foot braking from Muller.
Muller always left foot brakes. Most drivers do in front wheel drive cars because it enables them to cover the throttle and the brake at the same time. Oh, look how close Eves is now. Muller's going to have to defend very hard here. Will Dan take a lunch? Oh, he's almost missed a gear there. It seems like he's dropped back a little bit. Oh, he's gone wide.
Oh,
it's in the gravel.
Dan Eves makes a big mistake. The championship leader is off into the gravel, and it's just outfoxed perhaps, or maybe there was something wrong. Who knows quite what happened. He just ran wide into Paddock Hill Bend gravel trap. Oh dear, that is not what the series leader needed in the first race of the day at Brands.
Well, that was very strange because he had a run at Ivan Muller along the straight, and then here he's very close. Look how close he's there. Then suddenly the car drops back, and then he brakes perfectly over the bump and just locks up and goes straight. Nearly collects Turkington as well.
19 laps have been completed out of the 24, and there's the view from Tom Chilton right behind. We've got a possible, no, not quite. Colin Turkington had a look at getting past Ivan Muller. That's for second place, remember. And what this will do is allow Jason Plato to get a little closer behind, and he's got alongside, and Turkington could take second here. He's through. Colin Turkington takes second place from teammate Ivan Muller, and look who's behind Muller. It's his big rival, Jason Plato. It's Muller-Plato once again.
Well, Plato won't waste any time. He's going to try and attack Muller while he's weak. He's just been passed. He's seen that Turkington's forced a way through, and Plato will try and attack immediately. That move from Turkington's actually started 3 corners before it finished up at Druids, where he put the pressure on Muller, made him defend, got a little run down going towards Graham. Look how much quicker there. You see he's defending now. Now, Plato could pull off exactly the same move if he can force Muller to defend down the hill into Graham Hill. Yep, is Muller defending? No, he knows that'll lose him time along the bottom straight, so he didn't defend that time. But that's how Turkington set it up to get past. Well, it's very close here, and look at that, James Kay right on the back of this group. He's having a good run.
He is, well, that's good to see because they struggled in qualifying, and look at that. Hines has got through past Collard, I think. Yes, Collard's on the grass coming down the hill. They're still racing hard. Collard trying to keep Chilton behind him as well, but Luke Hines has definitely nipped past. Collard just keeps Chilton behind him. We're riding there with Chilton, but Luke Hines, after working hard throughout this race, has found a way past the MG. Coming around though, the checkered flag is awaiting the race leader. Matt Neal is going to take the win. Matt Neal has been closed up by Colin Turkington over the last lap or so, but he's going to take victory. Matt Neal wins, Colin Turkington second, Ivan Muller third, Jason Plato fourth, and look behind Tom Chilton. Oh, battling with James Kay to the line, and I think Chilton will have just taken the decision.
So with Danny's fantastic run of form interrupted in round 7, Matt Neal continued to fly the flag for Honda. He collected his 3rd victory of the 2005 season, beating Turkington into 2nd. As ever, Ivan Muller and Jason Plato were not far away. They were 3rd and 4th. And it was a quiet celebration for Matt Neal. There was certainly more work for him to do at Brands that day. He would be hoping to stretch his lead in the championship, while his Honda teammate Dan Eves would be looking to strike back. Matt Neal it was who headed the grid for the 2nd race of the day. Colin Turkington was just behind him, while Ivan Muller and Jason Plato looked dangerous in 3rd and 4th.
With the revs rising, we're all set for the 2nd race of the day at Brands Hatch to get underway. The lights go out, and it's Matt Neal trying to make the best of the start. Ivan Muller immediately putting his teammate Colin Turkington under pressure. Turkington on the outside with the white windscreen strip. He's been passed by Muller already. Another great start from the Frenchman. Muller goes into 2nd place. Turkington down to 3rd, and Jason Plato follows them up the hill. It's a good start also from Rob Collard. He's come up into 5th place, and everybody's through paddock safely. It's Matt Neal leading as he did in race 1. It's Ivan Muller in 2nd place, just as in race 1. But then it's Turkington, and then Plato, and then Rob Collard. Muller's able to go in wide. Look at Turkington versus Plato. Look how close Plato is to the back of the Vauxhall Astra Sport hatch. Now, is there any opportunity down the inside here? No. On the brakes. Oh, how much closer can you get? Little rubbing, little bit of smoke, tyre smoke that is. And he's got a chance to get the overlap here. He's on the inside as they approach 30s, and Plato's through. And Collard's hit Turkington. That was quite a hefty swipe. No chance for Colin there, and he's into the tyres.
Well, that was Collard. Oh, we've got 2 cars off as well, 2 Seats. That's got to be Plato and Pickford.
No, I think Hines and Pickford. Is it Hines and Pickford? I think it's Hines and Pickford.
Here's the move where Plato gets inside Turkington. He gives him a little rub at Graham Hill, gets alongside. Watch Collard though, he's trying to sneak inside as well. When Turkington moves across, there's inevitably contact, and right behind, really as a result of the contact in front, no blame there that you could enforce. Pickford and Hines come together. Disaster for Seat, the safety car's out, so everyone's going to close up.
Tom Chilton in the pits as well, I gather. And so, oh dear, all sorts of cars having trouble. Safety car lights out, it's heading into the pits this time around. Matt Neal will get the restart underway. They will have completed 8 laps when they cross the line this time, but laps will have been increased from the original 24. He's taking it very carefully, very slowly. Matt Neal is the one who dictates the pace. It's Ivan Muller right behind him, and Plato. Muller and Plato will both be looking for the advantage here. So will Rob Collard. Who's going to do it? Foot goes down on the throttle. It's a good restart from Neal. Here comes Plato. Plato on Ivan Muller, nudging already into Paddock Hill Bendisi. Not quite contact, but so close as they go up the hill now towards the hairpin. James Kay is running 6th, Turkington still in 7th, Smith in 8th, Pickford 9th, Ian Curley is currently in 10th, and let's just remind you, whoever finishes 10th in this race, here comes Collard! Collard has a look at getting down the inside of Muller. Was there a slight touch? I'm not sure. They're still side by side. Collard's got the inside for the hairpin, and this time I think Rob Collard's made the move stick. He's into 2nd as long as he doesn't go too deep into the corner. Be careful, he did that earlier, he went too wide, and they're still side by side, still knocking into each other. Collard just has it into Graham Hill Bend.
Well, that was a good move. Oh, he's had to defend. He almost missed a shift there, but look at this. Oh, this has blown any chance of Collard catching Matt Neal now, but he's certainly got through to 2nd, and it looks like Muller's not happy about it. Oh, he's run wide, he's got to pull him out. There's a touch of Muller's had to back out as not to spin him, and look who's gone through on the inside. Plato's gone back past Muller.
Plato has dived past Ivan Muller, and Muller's lost a place to Dan Eves. Here comes Eves as well. So Muller has gone from 2nd place to 5th in 1 lap. Well, he's had some bad last laps here at Brands Hatch in the past. It's usually the last lap it goes wrong for him, but we're not at the last lap yet, and he's lost several places. Collard is 2nd, Plato is 3rd for Seat, and then in fourth place. And look, James Kay's muscled his way past Muller as well.
Oh, Muller will be absolutely incandescent, but you've got no one to blame but himself. This is like NASCAR oval racing. You get out of the line and everyone just drives past you, but Collard's still got to defend this for another lap, and he's in a fantastic second place, but everyone behind him. Oh, Plato's hit him!
It's sideways right in front of Plato. What's happening around Plato though? Plato's sold second. Dan Eves is up to third. James Kay's up to fourth as a result of that. My goodness, it's all still happening, and Collard suddenly is not going to get on the podium. There's our race leader across the line onto the last lap. The final lap coming up. Second place for Plato. Third for Dan Eves. He started at the back and he's now third, and he's still attacking. Collard meanwhile is side by side up the hill, and with James Kay, and behind them Ivan Muller still desperately trying to roll. Kay's off. Kay's in the gravel.
Yeah, Collard got back past James Kay at Paddock Bend. Oh God, now he's wide again, and James Kay tried to get back at him at Druids and went wide. Now Collard's dropped back behind the other two Vauxhalls, and we've got Matt Neal seemingly cruising to victory. What an uneventful race he's had compared to behind. And right up behind him, last corner, Dan Eves tries to get past Plato, but Plato's going to get a second, and Eves is going to complete the podium from the back of the grid.
Yeah, this is a great drive from Dan Eves, but I think Plato's probably got him covered. It's Matt Neal who's going to take victory in the second race of the day. A brilliant effort from him, but behind him, second goes to Jason Plato, third to Dan Eves from the very back of the grid. Ivan Muller takes fourth, so he got back to fourth place there, Ivan Muller.
Victory number 4 in the 2005 season for Matt Neal. He really was beginning to establish himself as the man to beat. Jason Plato scored usefully in second, while Dan Eves got third, and a great drive from Ivan Muller to salvage fourth place. No wonder there were so many smiling faces among the Halfords team. They'd taken 7 out of 8 victories in the season so far. Round 9 was going to be more difficult. The reverse grid meant Ian Curley and James Pickford started first and second for the last race of the day.
The climax to today's touring car racing. Will Matt Neal be able to make it 3 wins out of 3 races as his teammate did last time at Thruxton? He'll have his work cut out. He's 9th on the grid. It's a very quick change on the lights. Away goes Ian Curley with the rear-wheel drive Lexus, but it's a great start from the second row from Rob Collard in the MG. Collard trying to go around the outside of James Pickford through Paddock Bend. Sideways goes Collard. Oh, he hits the gravel. He gets it straight. He loses it. He's out of the race, buried into the gravel trap, and Rob Collard is out. The safety cars on circuit, and they will all have to back off and behave themselves now. Safety car will be heading into the pits, and it's now up to James Pickford to just control the pace. Now, he's an experienced competitor in other classes, not so much in touring cars. He's gone for it straight away. He doesn't control it in quite the same way that Matt Neal did earlier, but it's a good restart from James Pickford. He manages to pull away very slightly from Ivan Muller and from Gavin Smith. Smith, then Turkington, then Dan Eves, and then Jason Plato. We can see from Jason Plato's point of view that Dan Eves just ahead is looking for an opportunity to go through, but if Dan leaves the door open himself, of course Jason will be straight there. We've got a battle up front for the lead. Muller is side by side with Pickford. He's got the inside line, and Ivan Muller goes ahead. It's Vauxhall ahead of Seat, and Gavin Smith will now try and do the same.
Well, Muller's desperate to get another victory under the Vauxhall belt, isn't he? Absolutely desperate. Div hasn't done it since the first meeting at Donington. Here's a good chance for him, particularly if he can put a little gap on Pickford initially and force Pickford into defending the cars behind.
Well, Pickford, we saw, was struggling a little bit behind. Here's Smith. Here's Smith up the inside. Oh, that was a great lunge. Pickford didn't expect that, and he just got caught out. Oh, he just sideways. He's hit him out there, and he's going to hit the barrier, surely. Or does he keep it off? Just touches the barrier. Not that hard in the end. But what a shame for the Irishman, because Gavin had done a good move into second. On board with Plato. Here, this is where Eves might have a look on the inside. Contact! Oh, they've hit each other. Eves just taps the back of Pickford, and he's through. He's into second place. And now we've just got 2 corners to go. The left-hander at Surtees and the long right-hander at Clearways. Can Dan Eaves try something here? He probably won't take a big gamble himself. He needs the points. He needs to stay in touch with Matt Neal. Right up behind Ivan Muller. Muller so controlled, on the limit, but making no mistakes. And the 2003 champion Ivan Muller showing his class here at Brands Hatch. Team Halfords have been beaten for the first time today. Ivan Muller takes victory in round 9 of the championship.
So a relieved Ivan Muller took his second victory of the season, a full 5 places ahead of Matt Neal. There again was Dan Eaves making it onto the podium, while Jason Plato made it into 3rd. Behind them in 4th was Kay, then Turkington 5th, and Neal in 6th place. In the championship, though, the Hondas continued to dominate. Matt Neal had raced ahead of Dan Eaves. Ivan Muller was still in touch on 99 points, but there was a bit of a gap developing between him and 4th place Jason Plato. A well-deserved victory for Ivan Muller, but he must have been wondering whether he would be able to catch Matt Neal. Still, there was a long way to go in the BTCC season, and next they met at Alton Park, and it would turn out to be a mixed day in terms of winners and the Cheshire weather. Jason Plato was fastest in qualifying, ahead of Matt Neal and Dan Eaves. Then it was the Vauxhall of Smith, and behind him, Muller, Chilton and Hines.
We're all set for 15 laps of the Alton Park circuit. James Pickford will be starting from the pit lane. I think that might be to try and avoid any problems at the first corner. Away they go. Jason Plato makes a great start, and the 2 Team Halfords cars side by side, and it's Dan Eaves who takes 2nd from the championship leader Matt Neal. Matt Neal pushed back down to 3rd place. Cars going a little wide on the exit of Old Hall. James Pickford starts from the pit lane, but it's a great start from James Pickford. Look at Ivan Muller. Ivan Muller's trying to get round the outside of Matt Neal through Cascades, but he couldn't quite make it, and he's got to watch out. He's got past his Vauxhall teammate Gavin Smith, but Smith is right there, and so is Tom Chilton.
Yeah, there's lots of movement going on here in the pack, and here's a move down the outside there. Look at that, 3 Vauxhalls. Muller, Smith, and Smith has pushed out Turkington wide, and Turkington's lost on the drag race out. There goes Hines.
It's clean. Good racing. Tom Chilton still in 5th place, just holding off Gavin Smith, but Smith a little frustrated after being the fastest Vauxhall in qualifying. He wants to get past that Honda if possible, and he's going to look for a chance perhaps as they head down the hill. Turkington very wide out of Old Hall. Chilton having to really think about this, defend his line through Cascades, as Smith now's got a good run on the exit of the corner. They're side by side as they build up to about 135 miles an hour, and then it's a hard break into the hairpin. Who's better on the brakes? Smith is late, and he's still, is he not quite ahead as they come through the corner? Great racing between Chilton and Smith, and Luke Hines trying to slot inside there. Oh, they kept it very clean.
Got a shot of Jason Plato's dad. It is Father's Day. Plato's dad's here, Pickford's dad's here, and of course Luke Hines' dad is here. So who's going to be the happiest father at the end of this meeting?
Well, at the moment it's going to be Jason's dad, isn't it? Because he's got a decent lead. Oh, there's a bit of a touch. Collard Turkington's on the grass. Turkington's out wide, and Collard is through. Collard gains the place. A bit of bodywork goes flying, and Turkington is muscled out not only by Collard but by James Kay and James Pickford. Pickford still attacking on the outside in the Seat, but can't go through. But at least he's got past Turkington from his point of view. Eaves in control at the moment, but Matt Neal will want the extra points. His lead is not that great that he can afford to just sit back and relax, especially with his teammate Dan Eaves ahead of him. Out of Lodge they come, climbing up the hill, cross the line this time. They're completing their 8th lap, and it's still Plato in charge of this first race of the day. Alton Park, here comes Matt Neal down the inside. Good move from Matt Neal, and he's taken 2nd place from Dan Eaves.
Well, Matt Neal had just put his lights on. You see he's got his headlights on. He'd just done that. I think that was to indicate to Dan that he was going to make a move, that he felt his car was quicker, and certainly Dan didn't stop him coming through.
Board with Jason, that's a great view Again, there's more and more looking in that mirror now. He's coming out of Cascades. Now, how far away is my opponent? Is he going to attack? He's very close, but he's not quite there, not quite able to get alongside.
Yeah, you saw Jason was actually having to look while he was braking and changing down and looking back to the apex, back in the mirror, all the time looking to check where Matt Neal was.
Now he takes the middle line, the inside line slightly down the hill. He sees that Matt Neal's not alongside, so he turns in, takes the clean line through the corner, clips the curbs. Got to be early on the power here. Kay's off. James Kay, I don't know whether there was contact with somebody. There might well have been, but we saw James Kay off, and now we've only got a lap and a half to go. So James, let's hope he can get... No, he's got damage to the front of that car, I think, so I don't think he's going much further. It's still Plato versus Matt Neal, but Matt Neal is running out of time. He's only got a corner and a lap to go. One more lap, plus this run into Lodge Corner, which is sometimes an overtaking spot, as we've already seen. Is he going to make a lunge? Or he has a think about it. Oh, he stays in second for the moment.
Well, I wonder whether Matt would try and stay behind, but that showed us his intention is to try and win the race. But he knows now just how desperate Jason is to win, because as soon as he moved, Jason moved as well to defend, and Matt had to lock the tyres up just to try and avoid hitting him. So Matt was very, very careful to try and avoid contact there, but he knows how much this first win of the year would mean to Jason and Sayat.
And here we are with Jason. He doesn't look in the mirror this time. And it looks as though Jason Plato is going to take his first win of 2005. The man who won more races than anyone else in 2004. It's taken a little while to come, but despite big pressure from Matt Neal in the closing stages, it is going to be Jason Plato to take the first win of the day here at Alton Park. Second place goes to Matt Neal, not by very much, and third goes to Dan Eves, with Ivan Muller coming home in fourth. Tom Chilton there, coming across the line in fifth, and there's a big smile on Jason's face. You can see it, even though you can't see his mouth.
That was a welcome first win of the season for Jason Plato. There was Matt Neal right behind him in second. Neal was consistency personified this season, and another good drive from Dan Eves, his Halfords teammate. Jason Plato did have some moral support at Alton Park, and they could look forward to seeing their hero start from pole in the second race of the day. Round 11. And once again, the usual suspects were there. Matt Neal, Dan Eves and Ivan Muller were jostling with each other at the front of the grid.
All set to go, the red lights are on, and away we go then. We're racing again at Alton Park, and it's a good start from Plato. Beautiful judgment on the amount of wheel spin and clutch spin that he allowed it there, and Plato is ahead. Matt Neal's in second place. Ivan Muller has started well. He doesn't take too many risks there though. Muller up into third. He's got past Dan Eves, who was the main loser, and as we come down the hill towards Cascades, Plato already beginning to make a break. We're on board with Muller in third, and that's Matt Neal right ahead of us. Matt Neal will be determined to try and stay with the Sayat, but he's got a tough task because Muller's putting him under pressure.
He's obviously got a problem. Has he got a problem with the steering? Has he got a puncture? It's obviously a front end issue. They're looking at it closer. Can't see a puncture. And the engineer, that looks like Nick Clipson, who's coming to have a look what's the matter. So change of tyres. Back to the race at the front. Dan Eves looking for any way he can up to Lodge to get past Muller, and they've both actually caught up a little bit on Matt Neal. So maybe Matt's made a little mistake on that lap, because certainly Plato's got a little bit of a gap.
Riding on board with Dan Eves, the 2-litre engine really revving hard as it can, as in its chase of Ivan Muller. And still Muller looking as though he's attacking the curbs, attacking the circuit, desperate to stay in front. Oh, there's a touch there between Ivan Muller and Dan Eves. Just a little nudge, a wisp of smoke off the front of Dan Eves' car, and they both got away with it. Matt Neal is looking fast now, using the power, if he can, of that Honda engine up the hill, and Matt Neal's lights go on. He wants to try and rattle Jason if he can.
Well, he's trying to say to Jason at the moment, look, we've got a long way to go in this race. There's no way that you can stay in front of me for the whole of the rest of the race. Why don't you make it easy for me and just let me through, and then we'll both get a potential result. But these are the things that go through the driver's mind.
Yeah, but I don't think Jason's going to make it easy for him. He will fight every inch. It doesn't matter, there's a long way to go in this race. He will not give up that lead position too easily. Behind them, it's still pretty close between Ivan Muller, Dan Eves, but there is Jason looking in the mirror. Where is that orange Honda? Is it this side? Is it that side? He goes to the outside. Plato defends down the inside. Matt Neal trying to go all the way around the outside through Lodge Corner. They're side by side, giving each other space. A little tap, a little rub as they exit the corner. They're still side by side, but Plato has the inside line for the next corner. This is great racing from two of the titans of touring cars. Plato's still on the inside. Matt Neal trying to go all the way around the outside of Old Hall. This will give him the inside line for the next corner if he stays there. Look at Muller closing up with them as well. They're still together. Matt Neal takes it. Oh, and Muller's hit Plato. Muller has hit Plato. Plato is off. He's in the gravel. Oh, the old rivalry is rejoined once again. Ivan Muller and Jason Plato make contact on the exit of Cascades, and Muller now in second place.
Well, what drama here. Firstly, the fantastic action between Matt Neal and Jason Plato, side by side for 3 laps, and then the opportunist Muller trying to sneak his nose in. Plato will be livid. Here we go. There's a faint look of a gap there. Muller just touches Plato. The faintest of touches at that point is enough to upset Plato, and Plato unusually drives all the way through the gravel and risks an engine blowout with a stone in there to keep going. He's that upset about it.
Matt Neal is now the race leader from Ivan Muller and Dan Eves. So Muller here in second place. Can he put the championship leader under a bit more pressure? I'm not sure that he can, because Matt just beginning to ease away, and if anything, Muller's got to watch out. We're on board with Jason Plato, and he is going to be so angry after this. Jason Plato a bit wide there from Smith Giles. Oh no! Teammates hit each other. Turkington and Smith now.
Well, that's the second time Smith's been turned around. Last time at Brands Hatch he got turned around by James Pickford. That time though, I believe it was more his fault, because Turkington already had the overlap on the inside, and then Gavin tried to move over on him. He shouldn't have done that on his teammate, really. If you look here, Turkington's gone wide, he's cut inside, he has an overlap now, and watch, the contact happened very quickly, I have to say. It's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, I think.
A great shame though. What a silly way to lose one of the cars. They come out of the hairpin, and then the contact is made, and round goes Smith. And when you look, there's just no choice. Here comes Plato into the pits, and it looks
No, that's another set of slicks going on. They're not putting wets on. I thought maybe they were going to take a gamble and throw some wets on it in the hope that the heavens were going to open. But
Pickford.
Well, James Pickford's locked up at the hairpin and gone straight on. Just kept it going. But he's had a big lock up. Now it is drizzling, so maybe the drizzle is a little bit heavier down there. Certainly the teams are all running around looking at what to do with the weather.
Oh, there's Luke Hines. I'm surprised he's looking that happy after going out of this race so early.
Gavin's gonna block the inside, and I think the only way Jason's going to do it is either to go right around the outside, as we've seen earlier in the race, or try and force a mistake. He's going to try and cut back now. Has he timed it right?
Here we go, side by side up the hill. This is where Gavin Smith was losing places earlier, and Jason Plato's done it again. Oh, that was good timing. Just judged it well, and he's got the position. He's in 10th now. Oh, and Gavin Smith getting into a bit of trouble. Not close enough here, Muller, to the back of Matt Neal's car to really have a lunge. What is the weather doing down there? It all looks pretty dry still. I don't think we've got too much rain falling yet. And Muller not able to attack into that corner. Danny's still in third. Rob Collard is in fourth place. Unless somebody makes a big mistake here, I can't see it changing. But you never know when the pressure's on. Matt Neal just has to guide it through here, not hit the tyres. Don't bounce over the curbs too much. Keep it clean on the acceleration up the hill as well. Eves has dropped back a touch in third place, and Matt Neal should have this one under control. Up towards Druids they go then. And this is where, when it does get a bit wet, it can be terribly tricky under the trees, but that isn't a factor as yet. It's still dry through there. He can still get the power down, pull away a little bit from Ivan Muller, and it looks as though it's going to be another victory for Matt Neal and for Team Halfords, the team that has been on top in the British Touring Car Championship in 2005. It's win number 5 for Matt Neal in 2005. Ivan Muller settles for second place. Third position goes to Dan Eves, and fourth place to a fighting Rob Collard.
Once again, it was Matt Neal who led the field home. Second race at Alton Park, his 5th win of the season. Ivan Muller would have been pleased to be right behind him in second, while Dan Eves, once again, was among the places. And there was a different challenge for the final race as the heavens opened at Alton Park. This was the first time the touring cars had to deal with the wet conditions this season. It was going to be interesting. Jason Plato drove himself into 10th place in the last race and pole position for this one. He was followed by Richard Williams and Mark Proctor. James Pitford was 4th, but there was bad news for him.
Coming into the pits, though, one of the Seat. Oh dear, can you believe it? Disappointment. I think it's Pickford who's come in, but we're all ready for the race to get underway. And the lights go out. It's a good start from Jason Plato. Terrible start from James Pickford. A good start from Richard Williams. It was Pickford, in fact, who's still out there. It's Hines who's come into the pits. And Luke Hines will try and start from the pit lane. It's Jason Plato who's made an absolutely perfect getaway. Williams on the curb there. And Plato is escaping. Tom Chilton has come up into second place. Brilliant drive from the youngster there. He's up into second. Rob Collard has come up into third. And Dan Eves is running fourth.
Well, a fantastic start by Plato. He got that front-wheel drive car off the line just perfectly, and already you can see the two Halfords Integras really charging forwards. They made good starts as well. Oh, Plato's overshot on the first lap.
Plato's gone straight on at the hairpin. Would you believe it? Plato has outbraked himself, and that means Collard has just taken the lead. And Williams spins out, might have had a tap from somebody, and Richard Williams therefore struggling for grip. It's Rob Collard in the MG leading Tom Chilton and Dan Eves. This is how it happened.
The car's brake just coming over a little crest in the road, and Jason just couldn't stop the car. He was trying everything, his little cadence braking. Oh, there's contact between Turkington and Smith. Well,
again.
That's Smith getting his own back maybe for the contact in the second race.
Second time of the day, those two teammates have hit each other. It's Colin Turkington and Gavin Smith. The safety car is heading down, looking as though it might be used, but it's not yet. They're just putting it in position. Let's wait and see what happens. There is Turkington's car. There may be a call for the safety car, but at the moment it's Rob Collard who leads from Tom Chilton. Muller's in the pits.
Oh, this is disaster. What's gone wrong for his championship? Has he got a puncture? The car looks a little bit crooked on the right-hand side of the front, but I'm sure we're going to get a safety car. Maybe Muller can get some work done on the car, rejoin it on the back of the pack and not lose a lap.
The safety car is out there, Tim, you're right. Safety car is on the circuit, so they will all have to gather up behind the safety car. Then safety car heading into the pits. Race will restart. Rob Collard will decide when to go. He bunches them up a little bit and then gets on the power as they come across the line, and it's Collard who leads. Tom Chilton in second place in the Honda. Then it's the two Team Halfords cars with Dan Eves just ahead of teammate Matt Neal, and in comes Gavin Smith. Oh, that's all the Vauxhalls by the look of it now. Gavin Smith into the pits. Could be the end of his race after the earlier damage, and Chilton having a little look down the inside into the Cascades corner. Collard has the measure of him, stays in front.
Collard just saw him at the last minute and gave him a little bit of extra room, but certainly Tom's looking chasing. Lost a bit of speed coming out of the Cascades there, but he's immediately back on the bumper. Oh, one of the
Pickford.
That was Pickford doing exactly the same with Plato.
He's just disappeared down the escape road there. James Pickford, the car didn't slow down at all. As you say, exactly like Jason Plato on the opening lap. He's lost it this time though, right round the outside. He's gone in too deep. Here comes Chilton. Tom Chilton's through, is he? He's got the inside line now, and maybe he's going to have the lead as they go into the Knickerbrook chicane. What an opportunity for Chilton. It was Collard's mistake this time. Oh, he'll be kicking himself, but Chilton's taken it.
He's done it again. He's gone straight on again. Well, I've never seen so many problems with people locking up their brakes, and whether it's just because this is the first weekend we've had back racing in the wet and they've all forgotten to move their brake balance counterbalances or whether there's something on the track. Very bizarre to see so many people locking up the front.
Behind this group, look, you can see that Luke Hines has got to move on James Kay here, and he's going to go up into 5th place. Jason Plato might follow him, yes, because Kay eases out onto the grass, and in fact Plato's got a chance to get alongside his teammate. Oh, it's so narrow up here, barely space for 2 cars to go side by side. That's pretty brave, and Plato nips through on the inside.
Well, Jason read that situation perfectly through the Knickerbrook sequence. He just hung back, he saw what Luke was going to do, hung back and made sure he got a very good exit. The 2 in front held themselves up, and there in an instant Jason's gained 2 places.
Now he's in 5th place and Collard's lost 2nd. Matt Neal has just taken 2nd coming through Lodge Corner, and we have a change for 2nd place. Matt Neal, the series leader, now takes over that position. Collard is down to 3rd. Dan Eves is in 4th position. 5th place it is Jason Plato, who now is in front of both Luke Hines and James Kay.
James Kay, a disastrous weekend for him. He's off again. You have to feel for the drivers. It's terribly difficult to go out into the unknown. You don't know what the grip levels are as Rob Collard brakes on the white line. And that's Dan Eves gone straight on.
Yeah, Dan Eves does it this time. He's gone straight on at the chicane. He can't come back and gain a place. In effect, he's going to end up losing the place. Oh, he's going very slowly there. I'm surprised that he let the other car come past. He'd already let Plato through. He hadn't gained an advantage. I think he could have come out and stayed in front of the next car, Luke Hines, but he didn't. So it's all changed again. Plato has gained another position, and he's now in 4th place. This is where Collard will defend. He'll probably have to move to the inside of the road here. No, he holds the middle. He's left a bit of a gap. Plato will go for any gap. You can't leave a gap, not even one that wide for Jason Plato, and expect to get away with it. Plato's in 3rd. Tom Chilton only has the last couple of corners to go through here at Oulton Park, and he is going to become another new winner in this year. He's won in the past. He's going to take his 3rd win in his career, but it's the 1st win for him in 2005, and he couldn't have done it in any more assertive or dominant way. He's shown everybody the way home at Oulton Park in the wet conditions. Tom Chilton wins race 3 of the day at Oulton Park. Round number 12 of the championship goes to the youngster, and the team really happy about that.
It was Tom Chilton's 1st win of the season. For the first time this year, a meeting had produced 3 separate winners. Matt Neal took another good 2nd with Plato just behind him. In the difficult conditions, Ivan Muller was one of those who didn't finish. In the end, though, it was Chilton's day, and you could say he looked pretty pleased to take his 1st win. In terms of the championship, though, Matt Neal looked to be pulling away. A win and 2 seconds here at Oulton Park, 24 points ahead of his nearest rival and 33 ahead of his big rival, Ivan Muller. Next up was Croft in North Yorkshire, where touring car fans flocked to see some of the tightest corners in British touring cars. Matt Neal was undoubtedly the one to beat today, but he was suffering from an injured leg, and Colin Turkington was ahead of him in pole position. His old rivals, Ivan Muller and Jason Plato, were just behind him in 3rd and 4th.
Round 13 of the British Touring Car Championship gets underway here at Croft, and Turkington making a good start from pole position. It's the Vauxhall Astra moving away as they head down towards the 1st corner, but Matt Neal's under pressure from Ivan Muller. Muller's moved up into 2nd place. That's a good move from the Frenchman. It's a Vauxhall 1-2 as we go through the 1st bend into Hawthorns, and now through the very fast chicane on cold tyres, where we can sometimes see mistakes being made. Good start from Ivan Muller. Matt Neal in 3rd, being pushed by Jason Plato in the Seat in 4th position, and then I think it's Tom Chilton in 5th, where he started from. Perfect getaway for Colin Turkington.
Yeah, both the Vauxhalls got away really well. Turkington didn't blow his pole position. Muller got the grip just right and managed to put his car alongside Matt Neal and force him down to 3rd. And the 2 Vauxhalls at the moment are sprinting away.
We're back on board with Matt Neal. Matt Neal running in third place, similar sort of pace. He was about 0.2 of a second slower than Ivan Muller last time around. It looks to me as though he's just as quick this time around as they cross the line. In fact, Turkington off has gone Luke Hines. Look at the damage to the left front. He's made heavy contact with the tyre barrier there. He's okay, he's out of the car. The youngster walks away, but it's a bad start to the day for Luke Hines. The green and white number 82 car is Fiona Leggett, and she's putting in a good run here at the moment. She's keeping Mark Proctor under pressure. Mark's a local man to this Croft circuit. He grew up racing rallycross pretty much here at Croft, so he loves the track, but Fiona's going well in that car.
She's going fantastically, considering she's only driven this car twice. Once when it was a petrol engine car and a shakedown test with the engine in it. She's going really, really well. She could take a bit of a wider line there. She's obviously been watching Matt Neal, but she could take a wide line into that corner, but she's putting Proctor under pressure, and you can see these four cars, the two HBI cars behind them, very close together. They're almost in a different category, and there'll be a lot of pride between them, so you can finish at the front of that.
Yeah, well, we're back up, and look at this. Dan Eaves has got past Tom Chilton. So, we said Chilton might be the one to watch. It's the other way around. Dan Eaves has overtaken him. He's taken fifth place. So let's just take a look and see if we can find out how that happened.
Yeah, if we look in the background, you can see coming out to sunny out, Tom Chilton for some reason ran wide, and that was all the invitation that Dan Eaves needed to get past and slot up the inside into the left-hander coming out to the complex.
And as we get into the latter part of this race, that's when we've got to look for a little bit of a change of pace, maybe one or two of the team cars going a little quicker. Not seeing too much difference at the moment. The Vauxhalls are still looking very quick. Turkington's still pretty much the fastest man out there as he continues to lead this race. There's Gavin Smith in the third of the Vauxhalls. Now he's got some pressure on him from another Yorkshireman on home territory. That's James Kay, the very experienced James Kay. Kay currently running in 9th place. And Gavin Smith's going to have to work hard here, I think, to protect his position, because James looking very racy.
Yeah, James is going well, actually. He's been struggling a bit for pace, but again, he's found a good race setup. Oh, no. That's a big off. That looks like Mark Proctor's car.
Yeah, it is. It's the...
Well, this could bring the safety car out wherever it is, I'm not sure, but has he got it... well... It looks like he's got his head down. No, he's picked his head up now, so that's good, but he's obviously had a front end there. This is through the Jim Clark S's going down towards Barcroft. Very fast part of the track, 125 miles an hour, braking. Oh, and he's just got all the way wide. Oh no, he's got not going to scrub off any. Oh, that is a big shunt.
Now the safety car is on circuit. This will neutralise the race, of course, bring all the cars together, slow them right down, and they will be able to go and deal with that damaged car of Mark Proctor. But what a shame for the local man from Bridlington here in Yorkshire, and that's a huge amount of damage done to the car. He's running on a very restricted budget, and that's going to make it tough for the team.
Well, the race has been stopped. I'm sure that will be because of damage to the tyre wall. It'd be impossible to repair that tyre wall in time to complete this race. So the race will be stopped. We've gone over three-quarter race distance, so that will be the result. It will be a Turkington win from teammate Muller, with Neal taking the final step on the podium. But in commenting on the chance of getting that car repaired, I'm sure that is the last we're going to see of that car this weekend.
He wasn't streaking past the checkered flag. Nevertheless, a win was a win for Colin Turkington, and it was his first of the season. A first 1-2 of the year for the Vauxhall Astras, with Matt Neal following up in third. Fourth was Plato, then the two Hondas of Eaves and Chilton, with Collard in 7th place. Round 14 then, and who would cope best with Croft's tricky corners? As usual, the second grid of the day favoured the best of the first race, with Colin Turkington and Ivan Muller, Matt Neal and Jason Plato all at the front.
It's time for the second touring car race of the day here at Croft, and away we go. Good start from Ivan Muller from the outside of the front row. An excellent getaway for him. Can he get past his teammate? I think he will be way ahead. Yes, he is. By the time they turn into Clairvaux, Matt Neal runs in third place. Jason Plato under pressure from Tom Chilton. The two of them side by side. Plato just gets ahead, I think, of Chilton, and Chilton lost a place there as well to Dan Eaves. The rest of them safely through Clairvaux, through Hawthorns for the first time. Good, clean opening, a couple of corners once more, and we're on board with Tom Chilton as he was in the first race, chasing after Dan Eaves. Well, what a good start that was for the Frenchman Muller.
There was no tactics involved there. Muller just got it away perfectly. He's been making really good starts. He just got it perfect between throttle, clutch and grip, and drove really around the outside of Turkington. This is a good chance for Muller now.
We right on board. Oh, and there's contact. Matt Neal's been squeezed out by Jason Plato. Plato's through on the inside, and he's lost. Oh, Matt Neal's slowing right down. Matt Neal's in big trouble. Must have broken something, and he's not going to score from this one.
Well, that's drama. In the first race, Plato hit the back of Neal's car several times, and Neal was really upset about it, and I thought he was going to have a real go straight away to try and get past Turkington without allowing Plato to challenge, but Plato saw a chance. Something happened there at the hairpin, and it's cost Matt lots of positions, although he now is rolling again.
Yes, he is rolling. I don't know what's going on there, but it's obviously a problem. Muller is getting away out in front. Now up into third place is Plato, but he's under attack from Matt Neal's teammate, Dan Eaves. Dan Eaves gives him a little bit of a tap through Tower corner. Doesn't send him wide, and they still continue, and Tom Chilton's right there as well. Let's take another look here, Tim.
Well, this is a very late lunge. Very late lunge. I mean, well, Matt was almost in the corner, and Jason came from nowhere. Although he didn't drive over the curb, he just came in very late.
Well, that's the move. That's how it happened. Let's see from the outside.
This is a better look at it. Matt is wide. Matt was wide, actually. Matt didn't defend the inside hard enough. Left the gap for Plato. Plato had to go for it, but I don't know what happens then. It's also Matt runs out of gears. He just runs out of gears.
Matt Neal, who is still going, but he's down in 13th position.
Yeah, but seems to be running strongly, but he's got an awful lot of work to do. He lost 4 seconds on that lap. His lap time of 1:31 as opposed to a 27. Lost a massive amount of time. Well, this is on board with Matt Neal. He's now got, he's past Leggett and he's got Curley in front. So he's up to 12th, but he's got everyone else, and more importantly, a huge amount of distance to catch up.
Well, this could be quite a drive from Matt Neal as he tries to make up for whatever happened to the car when he had that contact with Plato. It just seemed to cut out on him completely. Now he's caught up to the back of Ian Curley, the former mini racing champion in his first season of touring cars with the Lexus, of course, HPI Racing. They've had all sorts of dramas, but here comes Matt Neal, got a chance to go down the inside and makes a fairly easy move.
That was actually Jason defending, but now he's attacking. He was defending from Dan Eaves and ended up running into him, but he's on the wrong side, and this is, well, he's got good speed there, good acceleration, but can he get in front? He's trying to push his way in. Turkington's having none of it.
Oh, this is
Plato could actually lose out to Dan Eaves. He needs to try. He goes back inside. Oh, there's a lot of pushing and shoving.
Oh, this is physical racing, isn't it? Plato and Turkington trading more than just paint, and now look at Dan Eaves. Eaves alongside. There's not space here for two cars, surely. They got through there. That's great. Oh, no! Both on the grass. Eaves and Plato. Oh, no, it's all gone wrong for both of them.
Well, you can't get two cars through that chicane, and neither of them was prepared to budge. Jason was on the outside, but he felt he had the line. Dan had the momentum coming onto it and felt he had the line, and they went through side by side, but ran on. Here we go. It's anybody's call. Somebody's got to give. Dan's up the inside, but Jason, they both go in. I thought it was okay, but their momentum just takes them out. Oh, no. Well, Dan will be livid. Jason lost out himself, just as I was saying. You know, he's got to be careful. He can lose as many places as gain, and that's exactly what happens.
What an amazing half lap that was. Look at the accident from the other direction. The car's going off on the grass, and in the meantime, of course, that meant that Tom Chilton has gone past. He's now up into third place. Let's just see, this was Matt Neal overtaking. Now, we haven't seen many people overtaking there so far today, but he got past James Pickford in a good move.
Well, there's Plato in the pit lane, so obviously the damage is enough to bring him in. He wouldn't have wanted to do that. He'd have kept going if he could. He's been looking down. I suspect he may have got a water temperature problem. Yeah, there you go, straight away. I think when he went across, he filled the radiator up with grass, or he's broken the pipes underneath, but it's just boiled itself.
Matt Neal is flying. He's probably the fastest man out there at this stage in the race, and he wants to attack. He wants to make a move, and he always likes the tight line anyway. He's going for it. Gavin Smith left the door wide open there, and that was much easier than I thought it should have been, really.
Yeah, the Halfords car looks really good on the brakes anyway. Even into Clervaux, a couple of corners back, he looked like he was deep on the... Oh, well, he hasn't got it. Oh, no! no!
That's
well,
tricky.
Smith
Oh.
fought back, and Matt just put him out on the marbles, and poor Gavin Smith will have no grip at all now he's driven over all those marbles.
He did
I'm
well.
not quite sure how he managed to get alongside him into the Jim Clark S's, though.
He did well to come back there and still get back on the tarmac, didn't he? We're on to our final lap now. 14 laps have been completed by race leader Ivan Muller. So Tom Chilton's running out of time now. If he's going to take second place, he's going to have to do something pretty mighty on this last lap.
Well, Tom's got a podium in his pocket. He's not under pressure from anyone behind. I think, you know, Tom is a racer. He does like to have a go, but generally when he's got a podium under his belt, he tends to be quite sensible. I don't think he wants to give up a good result, but if Turkington makes a mistake or he gets really close to him, he's got a chance. He has got a chance into this last corner after this fast sequence down into Sunny, but he's got to be very close, and then the last chance is going to come at the end of the lap at the hairpin.
Yeah, that could be his chance, but as you say, is he going to be that brave or that risky? Is he going to take a gamble? Remember, it is a reverse grid for the third race, so these guys who are up front will be starting at the bottom end of the top 10. They'll be starting in 8th, 9th and 10th places. Chilton still tucked in behind Turkington. Muller looking to take the victory. It's going to be another 1-2 result by the looks of things for Vauxhall. It's more like the old days of British touring cars, but we haven't seen this happen up until today. There were no 1-2 for Vauxhalls coming into this meeting, but it is going to happen again for the second time today, but with the former champion who takes victory. It's Ivan Muller who takes the win. Colin Turkington is going to take second, and VX Racing celebrating a great performance here.
Another 1-2 for the Vauxhall Astras, this time Ivan Muller coming in ahead of Colin Turkington. And they will have been pleased to see Matt Neal back in 6th place. Dan Eves managed to steer himself to 10th, which meant he was on pole for round 15. Luke Hines was just behind him, while Matt Neal was handily placed in 5th.
There's the onboard view with Jason Plato. He's having to start right towards the back. Let's see how many places he can make in the early stages. It could be crucial as to how he gets through the first corner. Away we go, and it's a good start from Dan Eves, the pole man, trying to launch himself down towards Clairvaux ahead of the Seats, and he's done so. It's Dan Eves who leads. In second place, the first of the Seats is James Pickford. Luke Hines in third place. Matt Neal's had a pretty good start, I think. Let's hope they all get through there without jumping into the gravel trap, which we've seen so many times. And Matt Neal in fourth place. Great start from Matt Neal. Look at Rob Collard under attack there from Gavin Smith in the Vauxhall Astra, but Collard stays ahead, and it's Dan Eves now with a huge opportunity to take victory at Croft. And moving up is Chilton. Tom Chilton's also got up alongside Gavin Smith, and that was a clean. Oh no, it's all breaking out behind. Careful, boys, because that's the two Vauxhalls. Gavin Smith almost made contact with Ivan Muller.
Well, can you imagine what Triple Eight and Vauxhall would have said about that? But I don't think it was Gavin Smith's fault, because Chilton had stuffed it underneath him. Muller was probably trying to take advantage too. Oh, and Plato's gone through now. So that was just a mix-up at the hairpin.
Oh, there must have been some oil or something down there. Do you see the way the cars reacted? And Muller now has been passed by Plato. There is Jason Plato. He's now running 9th. Muller is back in 10th place. And Turkington, who won earlier on today, he's running in 11th place. Dan Eves is still our race leader. He has an advantage of 1.4 seconds. Well, it was last time around over James Pickford, and that was Hines in trouble. Was there a little tap? There might have been. Hines gets sideways. Collard, therefore, comes through in third place. But Matt Neal is right with him, and Matt Neal making a run for it. Matt Neal moving to the outside, heading towards the first corner at Clairvaux. No, not close enough there. Just taking a look back at some of that brake locking on that was going on. And Smith, who ran somewhat wide. Oh, he did make a big mistake there, didn't he? So Smith has dropped way down the order now. Smith is down in 11th place as a result of that. Plato currently in 8th, or is he? He might be moving up to 7th, I think, as there you are. Kay is ahead of Hines now. James Kay finishes off that manoeuvre, and Jason Plato's right there, and he's going to go alongside his teammate, is he? Up towards the chicane. Luke Hines, I think, will back off. Yes, he does, but he won't want to let Tom Chilton through, and he manages to just get in front.
Well, thank goodness Luke didn't do the same with Jason that Dan Eves did in the race before, otherwise they've both been on the grass. But some good driving there, good opportunities driving, particularly by James Kay. Really impressed. He's come on fire, that team, Synchro Motorsport, getting that Civic going really well.
And Ivan Muller's attacking Tom Chilton now. The Frenchman gets alongside the rapid youngster, but Chilton's got the inside line. Will they run side by side through the S's? Yes, they will. Gives Muller the inside. Oh, a little bit of touching, and Tom Chilton just gets it back on. Good aggressive muscling from Ivan Muller, and he's through. But Chilton might try and come back at him. No, not this time. This is the one to watch though, because Matt Neal is definitely pushing James Pickford, and he's going to go for the inside. Yep, and Pickford doesn't bother to fight too hard, leaves the door open, and Matt Neal's into second place now.
That's a good move, but Pickford being sensible, if he can hang on to the back of Matt now, he's going to pick up his first touring car podium. And that looks like Gavin Smith in the pit lane.
Plato's size is up Pollard again. Pollard's going to have to go mega. Here we go, down the inside, late lunge from Plato, and this is the move you said that's what he would do, Tim, and that's what he has done.
Well, he picked the moment absolutely perfectly. Despite their battling, they've actually both been closing up on Pickford, who's hanging on tenaciously to that third place. I fancy he might have to give it up to Plato, but Plato just picked his moment absolutely right. He had a little bit of a run through the initial part of the complex, faked to the outside, and then dived perfectly up the inside. That was a good move by Plato.
So Plato now in fourth, as you say. I wonder whether James Pickford will be just letting Plato through. Oh no, it's gone Kay. James Kay was on the grass there. He was in sixth place. Oh, something must have gone wrong with that car.
So he's lost it.
Plato is up in the third place, and Pickford, he just seemed to be overdriving a little bit there. He ran a bit wide, and Plato was through on the inside. A clinical manoeuvre when he saw the opportunity, and it's Plato who's moved up to third. So James Pickford, who looks set for his first British Touring Car podium, he will be disappointed, but of course from Seat's point of view it's what they need. They also need Luke Hines to stay ahead of the Vauxhalls, and he's doing a fine job of it so far as Muller and Turkington go side by side. Look at the leaders, Dan Eves and Matt Neal absolutely together. They're on the last lap now, and Matt Neal has driven a storming race. He's caught up to his teammate. I don't think he's going to attack here because Dan has led this one from start to finish. Matt is the championship leader. He doesn't need the extra points. He will just surely follow through as they come around the hairpin, and Dan Eves is going to take victory in the third race of the day. Matt Neal finishes in second, and after two Vauxhall 1-2s, it's now a 1-2 for Team Halfords.
What a way for Team Halfords to hit back. Two 1-2s for Vauxhall, and then one for Team Halfords with Jason Plato back in third for Seat. Turkington and Muller were again inseparable in 7th and 8th. Meanwhile, Fiona Leggett took 10th place to mix it with the big boys in the top 10. But the last laugh at Crop went to Team Halford's Dan Eves. This was his 4th win of the season, his first since that Thruxton treble. Eves more than happy to get back to winning ways. Matt Neal didn't win at Crop, but 2nd, 3rd and 5th meant he was still on target for the championship at the halfway stage. Next stop on the touring car circuit was Mondello Park in County Kildare, where the Irish showed their passion for car racing. So for this touring car return to Ireland, the Frenchman Ivan Muller was on pole. His Vauxhall teammate and Northern Irishman Colin Turkington was next. Then came Englishman Hines, Plato, Neal, Pickford, Chilton and Smith.
14 laps of the Mondello Park circuit coming up. The red line goes out very quickly. Good start from Muller and a good start from Plato and a terrible start from Luke Hines. Luke Hines has been blown away for 3rd place by his teammate Jason Plato, but it's Muller who leads. Turkington 2nd, then Plato, and Luke Hines has got to watch out because championship leader Matt Neal is right behind him.
Oh yeah, somebody being turned around there. That's one of the Seats. I think that's Pickford been turned around just on the entry of the center line. Disaster for him. Great start by Muller. There's Pickford Pickford rejoining, but he's lost a lot of time. Great start by Muller. Turkington moved over and protected the inside, and Plato characteristically jumped ahead of Hines and has slotted in the third.
So that's where the battle is at the moment for second place between Colin Turkington and Jason Plato, and Plato's already having a little nibble at the back bumper of Colin Turkington's car, but there was no way through, so Plato stays third for the moment. Then it's Luke Hines in fourth place. Matt Neal is in fifth position, so he's got away reasonably cleanly from there. Tom Chilton's running in sixth place. Then it's Rob Collard. Collard made a good start because he's up in seventh place. So here comes Matt Neal. Matt Neal's got a great run going and a good opportunity for Matt Neal to move up into fourth just behind these two. Plato still looking through. Yes, Matt Neal has nipped through on the inside.
Yeah, taking advantage once again of Hines, just getting a bit sideways and losing a bit of speed coming out onto that back section. This section hasn't been resurfaced and it's still quite slippery. Look how they're cutting the corners there, using as much road as possible. Plato desperate to try and get past Turkington early on, as you can see Muller escaping.
Yeah, Muller's making the most of this, isn't it? Good opportunity for him to open up a very useful advantage as Turkington defends that second place. And Luke Hines, who lost at one position there to Matt Neal, will now see whether Matt can go forwards. And here comes Plato. Plato very late down the inside. Oh, he caught Turkington out there. Great move from Plato.
Well, we've seen that before. He dummies to go to the outside. He makes it look like he's had a look and now he's going to take the normal racing line, and then dives in at the last minute and doesn't run wide. There's Collard moving up in front of Chilton. Good move by Rob. Great racing once again. Well, look at Matt. Here goes Matt. He's decided to take the plunge himself. He dives up the inside, gives him a little rub on the exit, but Matt's got the inside for the hairpin. Colin's fighting back. Look, Colin's got a better exit. He's got a better run down here, but he's not going to get across in front in time. Matt's decided to take the ball by the horns now. He's let 5 laps go. Collard getting his nose in there.
Dangerous territory for championship leader Matt Neal. Contact like that can often break a steering arm, but so far so good. And it means he's up into third place. And, well, Colin Turkington muscled out of the way there by Matt Neal. Turkington perfectly capable of moves like that himself. He did one of those on Plato last year, and look at Collard, as you say. Collard's right there alongside the Vauxhall as they climb up over the hill, but it's the Vauxhall that has the inside line for the next left-hander, and Rob Collard, I think, well, he's trying it. He'll end up in the grass if he's not careful. Squeezed out by Turkington. Collard can't quite find the space. Okay, just ahead of Tom Chilton. Chilton wants that place back if possible, but no, he's forced to the outside, no way around there. And James Kay going well here because he didn't qualify brilliantly. He had an off in the qualifying session. Oh, door open on Luke Hines' car.
Well, that's going to cost him. That could well be a black and orange mechanical flag to come in the pits and have that taped up, but it'll certainly cost him the race. A disaster after a strong qualifying performance.
From the Vauxhall of Turkington, straight at the front grille of the MG. Collard, the former Independence champion, still with an independent team this year, but really a very, very top touring car team, WSR, and working well with them. Into the pits comes Luke Hines with that door still flapping.
Yeah, look how slow it looks on the pit lane speed limiter, but that's going to be for a big pile of tape. Whack that on the side of the car.
The leader's getting away, and Ivan Muller's drive has just been exemplary. Look at this, way ahead. 4 seconds was the gap last time around, and he's still lapping as quickly as anybody in the 1 minute 47s. He's the lap record holder here, he's the qualifying record holder, and Muller just seems to love this Irish circuit. So, very evenly matched as we've come to expect in this year's British Touring Car Championship. Not much to choose between them, but it's Ivan Muller on his final lap who looks as though he's going to take the first win of the day here at Mondello Park. And it's a great run from the Frenchman. He's taken the lead from the start. It was pole position and a good getaway that has allowed him to come through and take the first win of the day and to add another victory to his tally. It's his 5th win here at Mondello in the past 5 years.
And that was Muller's 4th win of the season. Gradually, he was beginning to put some pressure on Matt Neal, who finished in 3rd place here. His teammate Colin Turkington took 4th, while Jason Plato was 2nd. So it was the master of Mondello, Ivan Muller, starting on pole position for round 17. And behind him, Plato, Neal, Turkington, Collard, Eves, and then 7th Smith, and 8th was Kay in the Honda.
All set to go racing here. The second race of the day in the touring cars, and Ivan Muller and Jason Plato getting lots of wheel spin, trying to get away, scrabbling for grip on this very greasy surface, and Muller does get ahead of Plato. Now watch for people locking up on the brakes here. Going around the outside is Turkington. Colin Turkington being very brave. It's the classic line here. Oh, he's been hit. He's been hit by Dan Eves. They keep going though. They're still in it. That's pretty amazing. Rob Collard's coming through. Plato losing out. Plato definitely losing at least one place, if not two. And it's Ivan Muller who's got away in front once again, and I think Matt Neal's pretty well up, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. But we're on board with Dan Eves. Matt Neal is into second place. Jason Plato has lost about 3 places there.
Yeah, extraordinary. I mean, in actual fact, Muller did get a really good start, which surprised me. Maybe he is on wet, so maybe Plato is the only one that's changed. It's all going on at the moment.
Okay, well, let's see. We'll have to watch them. It's all about tyres, and we'll have to see who's on what tyre as they get going. We're on board here with Dan Eves, dive down the inside here of Jason Plato, and I think that he's managed to go through as well. So another
question that
question.
Plato must be on slicks because he's dropping back and he just hasn't got the grip at the moment.
So we've gathered there's a stop-go penalty for a number of cars. It is Ivan Muller, also Jason Plato and James Kay. They changed their tyres too late on the grid. They changed their tyres after they were allowed to, and they will have a 30-second stop and go. That's a huge amount, and it's all happening in the race as well. Look at Tom Chilton battling there with Ivan Muller, and it's Chilton who's gone ahead. Tom Chilton in the wet is flying. He must be on the right tyres. Maybe they've stuck with wets on the back of his car because that car is working brilliantly, and Fiona Leggett's off. Fiona is off on the side of the track. She does rejoin. And here's Turkington now, trying to get past Collard for second. He squeezes on the inside, and Colin Turkington, the Irishman, is into second place. There'll be a cheer around this Mondello Park circuit to see him move there into second place, get ahead of Rob Collard. Their stop and go penalties, James Kay and Jason Plato, and then having to rejoin at the back, of course, and a huge disaster for them. Look at Dan Eves on the inside of Collard, not quite. Collard maybe looking for the grip around the outside there, of course. If you're offline, you can sometimes find more grip, and Dan actually has done that on the inside and now has the inside line for the first corner. So this should see Dan Eves move up into third place and hold the place as they go around the first bend. Collard trying to stay with him, but Dan Eves now into third position.
Chilton's gone in the pits. I reckon he's gone in for a pit stop to put slicks on, I think, because he realises he can't possibly last the rest of the race, so he's better to make a decision now and change the tyres. Generally speaking, yet they've got tyre guns ready, slicks going on the front. Oh, Muller's been off.
Yeah, Muller's had it off. And he was ahead of Fiona Leggett. He'd got ahead of her, but now he's dropped back behind her again. So again, you can see how much those guys are pushing. Muller's got a great run here. Muller's going to have a go at getting past James Pickford, and he's got through on the inside, and he does take the position.
Yeah, I was just looking. Here comes Plato trying to get through at the same time. Pickford's having none of it though. He was a bit miffed up at Croft when Plato took that first podium away from him, and now they're going to fight it out over 10th place.
Well, I think Muller will be very relieved to have got past Pickford as quickly as that, and now Plato will be desperate to do likewise, and he wants that 10th. But as you say, James Pickford missed out on a possible podium, his first podium in touring cars last weekend at Croft, when Jason just nabbed it off him on the closing stages of the race, and he may be fairly keen to hold on to this 10th place himself. Whether there'll be any team orders or not, I doubt it. It's up to them to fight for it. Pickford taking a very wide line there. Now he's trying to attack Muller. Muller, but he may well end up losing out to Plato as a result of that. Well, I think he's left the door open there for Jason, who now has the inside line down towards Honda on the inside, and Plato is through. He's now in 10th place, and that is his target for this one. But let's just remind you who's leading this race. Colin Turkington is leading, but for third place, here comes Matt Neal up the inside, and he's got past Rob Collard. Matt Neal now takes third place. Well, I spoke too soon for Rob to get a podium by the looks of it. He's just lost a little bit of pace in the last few laps, and his championship leader, Matt Neal, now in third. Turkington maintaining that gap back to Dan Eves. It's 3.2 seconds last time around. I think it's going to be much the same to the flag.
Yes, I think Halfords will be happy enough to get a second and third. Colin will be delighted to get a win back on home soil, another Vauxhall win. So we've still yet to get Honda to win a race here.
Yeah, that's right. Well, there's still one more chance here today, of course, but the Seats will look to be taking a win, at least a win, as we watch Turkington coming around the final corner, prepared for the checkered flag. It's going to be the second win of the day for Vauxhall. It was Ivan Muller earlier on. It's Colin Turkington in race 2, and Turkington wins at Mondello.
So that's a win Turkington will have been especially pleased with. Born in County Down in the north, taking victory here in County Kildare. And another Mondello win for the Vauxhall Astras. It was Turkington from Dan Eves, Matt Neal and Rob Collard, with Ivan Muller back in 6th place. Colin Turkington then celebrating his second win of the season, but still there was work to do at Mondello for the Vauxhalls. Once again, Jason Plato had snatched pole by virtue of his 10th place in round 17. Then came James Pickford and Tom Chilton. And James Hughes was looking for a special birthday present in 4th place.
Waiting for the lights. The red light comes on, and we're underway. Who's it going to be? It's a good start from both the Seats and Tom Chilton as well in the black Honda, making a good getaway. But it's Plato who just about squeezes ahead down to the first corner. Muller running in there, trying to get past Hughes, and Muller does get 1 place, maybe 2 places. Chilton side by side with Plato. Chilton's taken the lead. Tom Chilton in the black Honda, taking the lead from Jason Plato.
Fantastic drive by Chilton. He got around the inside, but I have to say his car was creeping on the line. He put the brakes on and checked it, but he was creeping before the lights changed. So let's see what happens. But he drove a brilliant first and second corner, stayed out wide at the second corner, so he didn't get tipped by Plato. But look at Muller, he's attacking already.
Ivan Muller on Jason Plato. The two great rivals have hit each other again. It's Muller on the inside, Plato alongside, and these two hit each other here at Mondello last year, and Plato will not like having a bit of bumping action already in this race. We're on the opening lap, and it's Plato versus Muller for second, and Plato a bit wide over the curb. This is going to give a great chance to Ivan Muller. He's going to try for the inside line now. There's a potential overtaking spot coming up. He's on the inside, brakes late. Can he still make the corner? Look at Collard. Collard's coming through as well. Plato's lost 2 places.
Jason Hughes gone straight on a car walk. He's gone through the gravel, but he's rejoined. Another shame, he had such a good grip position to start with. Now he's going to have to fight at the back. This is Collard with a brilliant run through. He's got through into 3rd place, and now he's got all 3 Seats ganging up behind him. And Plato's being very aggressive. That was a good late lunge. Collard left the door open. We've seen, they're pushing and shoving. This isn't over yet.
It's over on Plato, very sideways. Collard goes through, and Plato recovers. And both Team Halford's cars going either side of Jason Plato. Well, there was a bit of retaliation going on.
Yeah, I've got to say that Jason Plato now this is getting out of order, but Plato almost deserved it. That's Pickford putting Collard out, and now Plato's back at front. But Plato had started the action on Collard, and Collard gave it back to him.
Into the pits comes James Pickford. Pickford looks
I think he's got a puncture at least on the left front, but if not, he's got steering or suspension damage. They're looking around it, but that's his game over. Not surprising with all the shenanigans. That was quite a boxing match in a motor race.
And the championship leader wants to nip past if he can. He's not quite close enough there, though.
He's not quite clear, but he needs to get on with it because he's got so much pressure from behind. Well, he did, exactly as I said, muscled his way through at 7-8, but again, he's going to lose out straight away to the other seer, and even Turkington, getting old Turkington off.
Oh, Plato's through. Plato's taken advantage of that. He nipped through on the inside. It was all started with a tiny mistake from Luke Hines, and now here, Hines is off. Hines into the gravel. He was held there by James Kay. It has all got a bit tight through the chicane.
Yeah, well, he hasn't got to go in and get the door fixed in the pits now, has he? Oh, and Kay's off as well. Oh, dear, he's got through the gravel, but there's a lot of damage on the left-hand side to the aero kit there, so... Yeah, well, there's going to be plenty of action in the Clerk of the Courses office after this.
He's going to be busy, isn't he? Bob Kettleborough, the Clerk of the Course for the touring car, is going to be very busy tonight. Oh, he's gone in wide, and Muller
braked himself.
Muller is through so easily. Well, he can't have imagined it was going to be that easy, can he?
Well, he couldn't have imagined, but he did the right thing by just sitting there putting the pressure on. But I think Tom can fight back. I mean, he just outbraked himself there, perhaps looking in the mirror at the wrong moment. A lot of people had gone off at that first corner, and he just couldn't close the door down on Muller. This is the battle for third, though.
Yeah.
They've closed up. Look how Matt Neal and Plato have caught up with Eves. This is going to be the battle for the final podium.
Yeah, this is interesting. I'm surprised that Dan, maybe he's got some damage on that car, because you wouldn't have expected him to... Oh, contact! Oh, Plato's tapped the back of Eves, and now Matt Neal's got the inside. Matt Neal may well have got past Jason Plato. Oh, they're off! They're off! Would you believe it? They're all off down there at turn 7. Well, remember what happened last week. Plato upset the team boss of Team Halford, Steve Neal. That's Matt's father by his tactics, and now it's all set off again. And Steve Neal, well, I wonder what he's going to make of it this time.
I mean, well, there's Plato creeping round, but it's absolutely... And he's got a puncture as well, so he's going to have to pit to change that right front. Matt, that's where he had contact with Matt Neal. But I think with safety cars out, we've got the safety car out on the track. That's going to close them up. That's going to allow Matt Neal and Plato to make their pit stop, get tyres on, and close up behind the group if the safety car's out for long enough to bunch everyone up.
Into the pits, though, has come Jason Plato, all over for him. Now we're up to racing speeds again, and look at the battle for third. Danny's versus Colin Turkington, and it's still Rob Collard behind. So, once more, it's Collard versus Turkington. That was a great restart by the Frenchman Ivan Muller. He's already opened up a bit of a gap. On to lap 13 of 15.
Yeah, this is the best chance. If he can get inside here, this is the perfect opportunity. He may have Turkington defend, going down into the corner, cut across inside. That was the best chance to get through. He did that perfectly.
Yeah, good move from Rob Collard. They'll be coming around this time to complete 14 laps. They'll be going on to their final lap as they come around, and Collard hasn't given up on a possible podium finish, and Matt Neal hasn't given up on scoring some more points.
No, Matt's definitely going to get Jason Hughes on this lap. And look at this, battle for third, battle for the podium. It's going to be very close. Collard's going to try everything he can. He braked incredibly late there. Incredibly late braking by Rob. Around the outside. We haven't seen that done all day. Brilliant move, Rob.
Wow, what a move from Rob Collard. That takes him into third place. Straight round the outside. I think Eves is struggling with that guy. Just doesn't seem to be working that well, and he's having to be quite defensive. But what a great drive this is from Rob Collard. He's into third place. He was battling up near the front in the early stages. He got muscled down the order, and now he's fought his way back up there.
Great weekend for Muller. He's pulled it off, 2 wins, excellent driving, really picked his moments, and he's probably the only one, him and Chilton, the only ones out there with straight cars left.
Ivan Muller moves on to 5 victories with this win. He's only got a couple of corners to go. His 5th win of the season coming up. You know what? That's the same number of victories that Matt Neal has had. So from Team Halford being the dominant force in the early stage of this season, Vauxhall coming good in the middle section. Look behind, you can see Rob Collard in third, fourth place for Dan Eves. I think everything else is settled. It's Ivan Muller who takes his second win of the day at Mondello Park. What a fantastic record he has here. It's his sixth win here at Mondello in recent years.
And what a day it was for the Vauxhall Astras, a clean sweep thanks to Ivan Muller and Colin Turkington. Tom Chilton grabbed second with Rob Collard third, but Ivan have been particularly pleased to see Matt Neal in seventh place. The task for Ivan Muller was very simple. He had to keep those wins coming and chip away at Matt Neal's lead in the championship. But it wasn't going to be easy. Muller now in second place, trailing Matt Neal by 13 points. Could he bridge the gap next time out at Snetterton, or would Matt leave the Frenchman in his slipstream? On then to East Anglia, and the championship was entering its most crucial phase. It was shaping up as a contest between the touring car heavyweights, Muller and Neal. But round 19 saw another pole. Tom Chilton was fastest in qualifying, followed by Rob Collard. Muller was back in fourth, while Matt Neal was 2 places behind him.
It's Tom Chilton on pole position in the black Honda. It's the MG of Rob Collard with him on the front row. The start could be crucial here. It is narrow leading up to that first corner. Away goes Chilton. Good start from Dan Eves as well. And Dan Eves straight into second place. Bad start from Rob Collard in the MG. He swamped his Collard, and Dan Eves has come up into third, and Muller's going to try and go around the outside of him into Rich's corner. Good start from Ivan Muller. Turkington's up there as well, but it's Eves in second, and look at the lead that Tom Chilton has.
Well, great getaway by the youngster. Tom got it absolutely right. I can see out of our commentary box the car of the MG of Rob Collard just bogged down. He was trying so hard not to spin the wheels, but this is a great opportunity now for Chilton. He set 2 times in qualifying that were good enough for pole. Look, he's got such a lead, he can still warm his tyres up.
It's amazing. Oh, but he almost put a wheel over the edge coming into the corner. Fiona Leggett got very sideways, but I think got through Sis. Oh, we've got Plato is off. The Hines is off rather. Sorry, Plato's still there. That's Luke Hines who's gone off. Luke Hines, who was battling his way in the middle at the back. There's Plato and Pickford. Those two Seats not running very well, but Luke Hines off on the grass. There was contact there with somebody, and we'll have to take another look at it. But out in front, it's Chilton from Eves. Take a look at looking back on board with Rob Collard right behind. Oh, and it was right behind him was Plato and Hines were together. Race leader is Tom Chilton, as he still leads from Dan Eves in second place. The gap was just under a second though last time around, and Dan Eves was the fastest man on circuit on that lap. So Eves is beginning to close up on the race leader.
Yeah, that worked out well for Dan Eves on the last lap. He's just broke. Oh, look at this,
Matt
side
Neal's
by side.
got past Turkington.
Yeah, a great move by Matt Neal there into the bomb hole. That could only have been because of a mistake by Turkington at the S's. Here we see, watch this, Turkington breaking round the corner. Does he mess up the exit? He clouts the curb on the inside. Does he run wide? Yes, he does. Runs wide, loses traction, and Matt immediately straight up the inside. That's the only way you can pass into the bomb hole if someone makes a mistake. Good opportunist, but I was saying just in front of them, this group has broken up with Dan Eves now just broken away from...
Plato's in trouble, sorry Tim,
right,
but to interrupt you, but Plato was cruising up the straight there very slowly. I don't know what's gone wrong.
Well, that's an engine problem, clearly. That's not looking well. That's
not good news. Jason is having a miserable time here already at Snetterton. The onboard camera, and well, there's not a lot he can do now. He's just got to clamber out of that car and race over for Jason Plato. Both these guys have had 5 wins each in the championship, and he's got a move going here. He's down the inside, he's gone for it, and he's taken him. And Matt Neal is up into 3rd place. We're back on board with Ivan Muller. Unless he can really get a good run here, Matt Neal has taken 3rd place.
Muller definitely put 2 wheels on the grass on the exit of Coram Bend. That was the opportunity he needed, but he won't get through here. Matt will not let him back in. No way. He'll try to cut through on the inside. That's a really difficult one. Matt will defend. But that was the mistake that we were looking for, and uncharacteristically it came from Muller. You don't see him make many mistakes, but I'm sure he put a wheel on the grass.
Dan Eves and Matt Neal running second and third. Muller in fourth place. Look at Collard attacking Turkington here, and he's going to have to do it on this lap because we're on the final lap. If he's going to make a difference, Turkington has to go to the inside. Collard with good straight line speed. He's got a chance to sweep round the outside of Turkington. I think he might have done it. Turkington has been... No, he's gone off. Turkington's gone off.
This is Turkington? Yeah, you're right. Oh, well, disaster.
Well, Collard's gained that position. I think he already had the place done, and it's another place gained for James Pickford as well. But the race is going to be won by the 20-year-old from Reigate in Surrey. It's Tom Chilton, who is going to take his second win of the season.
So Chilton led all the way from grid to flag for his second win of the season. Didn't that go down well with his team? And it was a great day for both Honda teams. Dan Eves and Matt Neal followed Chilton home. The battle for the championship, Muller lost ground to Neal. And all that meant that Tom Chilton started ahead of the pack for round 20. Dan Eves was second with Matt Neal and Ivan Muller on third and fourth place. Behind them, Collard, Pickford, Turkington and Kay.
Round number 20 of the Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship, all set to go here at Snetterton. Can Tom Chilton make it 2 out of 2 in the black Honda, or will he struggle carrying 45 kilos of ballast to get it off the line? We're about to find out. Who's going to make the start? It's a good start from Dan Eves. Eves is away well from second place, but Chilton is good from pole. Ivan Muller's up to third. He's got ahead of Matt Neal, and Ivan Muller in the Vauxhall trying to take second place. Will he sweep round the outside into Riches? No, he tucks in behind Dan Eves and Ivan Muller. Good, strong start from the Vauxhall drivers. Going to have a go. Oh, and off's gone Fiona Leggett. Fiona Leggett ending up in the field on the outside at Riches.
Here's a replay. Look in the back of your screen. You'll see Fiona Leggett getting just flying off the road. Fortunately, she stops before hitting the barriers. This is on board from Jason Plato's car going into the corner. She just loses it on cold tyres herself. She was defending the inside, not enough heat in the rears, and off she goes. But going back to the front, Chilton has got to struggle to hold the lead with that car. It didn't carry the weight, 45 kilos, maximum ballast last year very well. So he's now struggling. Muller's on fire.
Yeah, and let me tell you that Jason Plato's in 10th already as Muller's gone for the lead. He's down the inside. The Frenchman is there. He's got the inside line, but look at it, 3 abreast into the bomb hole. No. Oh, Chilton managed to hold it. What happened there?
Well, they were side by side coming out, and Dan Eves repaid the compliment straight up the inside. This is Muller on board. Now looking at Eves, who's just repassed him in a carbon copy of his move, but Muller was so close to getting the lead there. Now he's back to third.
Oh, Pickford really hit the curb quite hard there through Riches, and that gives Turkington a shot at going around the outside. Then he'll come back to the inside, and it's a chance here for Turkington to reclaim the spot. Good side-by-side racing. Now it's foot hard on the throttle, all about acceleration, all about straight line speed down the Revit straight, and then it's all about who can brake later into the left hand.
Well, it is possible to overtake round the outside. Let's see who's bravest on the brakes. Turkington's going for it. He's clearly in front anyway, so he can take a normal line. Good move by Turkington. That Vauxhall Astra, very good mid-corner. He's been carrying a lot of speed. It actually caught him out running into the back of Hines earlier. But the mid-corner speed's been very good, and he's utilised it perfectly there to get the run on and pass Pickford down the straight.
Neal's in trouble. He's hit Muller. Well, I'll try and find out what's happened. Matt Neal has made contact with Muller, but I think he's got up into third as a result. Let's see what happened here, Tim.
Well, a good run from Matt Neal through Riches, looks up the inside, goes for the inside, there's contact there, and just a tap, and out wide goes Muller and slow onto straight. Muller had no problem in holding it, but he's gone slow onto the straight, and Matt Neal's got through into third place. But look at Muller, he's cross.
Yeah, he's still there, he's in fourth place, he held it well. Great car control as ever from Ivan Muller, and that's the second time that Ivan's been passed by Matt Neal today, but he won't be as happy about that one. Eves in second, Neal in third, ahead of Ivan Muller in fourth, Rob Collard in fifth, sixth place for James Kay. Then it's Colin Turkington, and then it's still the Sayats holding on to spots 8, 9 and 10. But Tom Chilton driving the Arena Motorsport Honda Civic. What a fantastic day this is turning out to be for him here at Snetterton. Ivan Muller maybe going to make a lunge for third place on the last corner. No, he can't quite get down there. And Chilton is going to come through to take his third win of the season, his second straight win of the day here at Snetterton. A brilliant drive from the youngster, soaked up the pressure this time. He didn't make the initial break that he did in race 1, but despite that he still drove perfectly, didn't put a wheel wrong, and takes the victory.
What a day this was turning out to be for young Tom Chilton. Another victory leading all the way. He started the day with just one victory in the BTCC to his name. And look at that. The top 5 came in exactly the same order as they had in the last race. Chilton, Eves, Neal, Muller and Collard. So the question was, could Tom Chilton emulate Dan Eves by taking all 3 races at Snetterton? Round 21 of the touring car season was far tougher. There were 3 Seats at the front of the grid: Jason Plato, followed by James Pickford and Luke Hines. Muller and Neal inseparable on the 4th row.
Cars all set to go here in the third and final race of the day at Snetterton. Watch the lights, they go out quickly. It's a good start from Jason Plato. From pole position, Plato leads them away and his teammates try to follow, but Turkington has actually come up to third. So Colin Turkington already gets ahead of Luke Hines. He's up to third. Muller's trying to go round as well. James Cade just ahead of him though, and Muller got an inside line on Cade. Got through there. It's Plato who leads. Pickford second. Turkington in third place, and Ivan Muller I think up into 4th position. No, Hines in 4th and then Ivan Muller. So that's the way they set off down the Revit straight. And Jason Plato's made the perfect getaway. And Collard in trouble on that opening lap. I think he's heading into the pits. There were obviously problems. Oh, he didn't even take the start. He didn't even get the start. That's a shame for Rob Collard.
This is Matt Neal now trying to get back past his teammate Dan Eves, but Dan Eves with weight on the car is struggling on the straights to stay in touch.
Yeah, Matt Neal had a great chance then because Eves really got held up. Eves having a think about it. Oh, he's hit Hines. So Dan Eves taps the back of Luke Hines on the turn into the S's. Hines will try and rejoin. I hope he can do that without taking anybody with him. Well, that was an interesting incident, but it now means that Eves is 5th. I think he got through there cleanly. We'll have another look at this.
Yeah, this really looked like it wasn't quite on. He comes from a long way back and is never really alongside, just hits the rear quarter, and you got a feel for Hines there. He was doing a good job defending, but unfortunately Dan got that one wrong and just tagged him.
You're riding on board with Ivan Muller. He is ahead of Matt Neal, and of course it's the 2 of them battling in the championship.
Yeah, there's a lot of smoke on the pit lane, on the pit wall. Look at that. Who's that smoke from?
Be interesting to see if we can spot who. Oh, it is. It's Turkington. It's Colin Turkington. That's where the smoke's coming from. He's currently running in 4th.
Well, he's not going to be running for much longer because that's sudden, and as oil flags out, that's a slippery surface. So they've obviously seen oil on the track. So this, if he doesn't pull over, he's obviously dropping a lot of fluid. He's going to cause a big problem. Last thing you want is oil down here at the S's.
Yeah, that's right. And Muller, as he continues his attack, may get a glimpse in his mirror of the smoke coming from his teammate's car. This is what happened when Matt Neal got past Dan Eves. It was under the bridge into the S's. No problem through the first part, through the second part. Oh, and he just moves out of the way there. Matt Neal is allowed through.
Well, there we go. That's the first time we've seen a clear indication of team orders, and there was no question. He pulled over to the easy side of the track and let him pass.
I don't think they're really going to be getting him back out on track, are they?
No, they're putting the safeties under the air jack there, so they're clearly not expecting to go anywhere in a hurry, and he's out of the points. Plato's working hard though, trying to maximise every lap, trying to drive consistently, trying to get the best possible lap time and not make any mistakes.
Jason Plato should have this one in the bag if he doesn't have any problems, but Pickford has got his work cut out now. He's got Ivan Muller, former champion, behind him, and Pickford has got to keep his head here. He's in his first season of touring car racing. He's on for his best ever result, but he's got to keep his cool, keep his concentration and not be rattled. This is going to be a big test for Pickford over the next couple of laps. Can he fend both Ivan Muller and Matt Neal off?
He's done the job for Seat and for Plato, though. Plato's got a comfortable gap to get home to the flag, but the battle for second is where it's at.
Yeah, this is great stuff, and this is where James Pickford could certainly earn himself some brownie points if he can hold on to second. But can he do it? Because you can see through the quick corners, both the Vauxhall and the Team Alfred's Honda are very quick. It's now they come onto the straight. The Seat is very strong, there's no doubt about it. He concentrates on a good exit there, and he does pick up speed. Ivan Muller can't quite pull up to him on the straight. He can't get alongside him, but Matt Neal might be able to get alongside Muller. Look at the speed of the Team Alfred's car, and he's down the inside. The two championship contenders side by side, but Muller just fended him off.
Well, huge respect there between the two guys. That's very difficult. Matt Neal didn't lean on Muller. Muller didn't lean on Matt. Very good. They went through the braking areas side by side.
Matt Neal has overtaken Ivan Muller in each of the two races we've had here today. Is he going to make it 3 out of 3 and take the podium finish from the Frenchman again? Muller is so determined he's not going to lose third for the third time in a row, but he's got to hold off for another couple of corners. That was good from Muller's point of view, because Matt didn't gain so much speed that time through the S's, and now it's just the right-hander at Coram and the little flick right and left through Russell that they've got to cope with. Plato ahead. He looks like he's going to take the victory. He has won in the past a long time ago under the former touring car rules for Renault, but under the current touring car rules, this is the first win for Jason Plato, and he comes up to win here at Snetterton. Good effort that from Plato. Second goes to his teammate Pickford, who holds off Ivan Muller, and James Pickford, a great result for Seat. Jason Plato did the job from pole position.
So no clean sweep for Tom Chilton, but the Seats, with Jason Plato and James Pickford on board, picked up a useful 1-2 here, and that was well worthy of celebration. Behind Plato and Pickford, Ivan Muller recorded a third ahead of Matt Neal, his championship rival, but perhaps it was Matt Neal who profited most from Snetterton. He had extended his lead by just 3 points, but perhaps more crucially, he prevented Muller from chipping away at the lead. You could just make out the frame of the fourth road bridge when the touring cars met next at Knock Hill, the championship's only visit to Scotland. BTCC welcomed back Gareth Howe, the youngster from Kent. Howe must have been pleased with his qualifying, managing to get second on the grid behind Colin Turkington. Matt Neal and Ivan Muller were again locked together on the second row.
It's round 22 of the 2005 Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship. It is very wet here at Knock Hill. Colin Turkington starts from pole position. Gareth Howe, the returning driver in the Team Alfred's car, starts alongside him on the front row. How will he get away? The lights go out, and it's a good start from both front row men. Gareth Howe making an excellent getaway, and he heads down towards the first corner. The Team Alfred's Honda right alongside the pole sitter Colin Turkington, but it's Turkington with the inside line, side by side through the first corner, and Gareth Howe muscles his way into the lead. He leads on his return to touring cars. What a great start from Howe. Turkington in second place, Ivan Muller is in third, and then it's Matt Neal and Dan Eves. Team Alfred's a rule right up there at the moment, but the two Vauxhalls in between. Matt Neal is in fourth place, Dan Eves is in fifth position, and that ball of spray then affecting everybody else behind, but Howell going very wide.
Well, he was very nearly off there. He likes his car set up more akin to Matt Neal's style, which is to have more oversteer than Dan Eves, and we saw it there. That car's on the edge.
Battle for second place. Ivan Muller trying to go to second. He goes very deep into the hairpin, does Muller, but I think he's got second place unless Turkington cuts back. Oh, watch out for Muller. He's now got an overlap. Has he on Howell? Not quite. The drag race up the hill, and Muller is desperately trying to get the inside line for the first corner. Has he done it? I think he might have done enough here. The Frenchman on the inside brakes later than Howell, and he turns in. Oh, just makes it through, and now Howell might lose second.
Oh, he's been turned around by Turkington, his ex-teammate. Oh, no, don't hit the wall. Oh, that's a really cruel blow for Gareth Howe. I was amazed amazed how much traction Muller had coming off that hairpin to get alongside him, and then how trying to go side by side with Turkington like on the first lap, this time he came off worst.
Welcome back to touring cars, Gareth, and let's just take another look.
Well, Gareth pinched across the inside a little bit. Turkington went across the curb, but there just wasn't room for two cars. The safety car's coming out at the end of this lap, so the positions will be held. But yeah, Muller looking really strong. That Astra working very well in the wet.
The safety car has pulled in, and we're now getting all ready for this race to restart. Ivan Muller controls the pace, and he's taking it very, very steady as he comes up the hill. Now he floors the throttle, and the Vauxhall pulls away from Matt Neal, and Turkington's made a good restart here. He will try and attack for second place as they come up to the first corner, but Matt Neal's got the inside line, and Turkington has to slot in behind him once again. It's Vauxhall leading, the Team Halfords Honda in second place, Vauxhall in third, and then Dan Eaves in fourth, also applying the pressure there, and makes a little bit of contact with the back of Colin Turkington's car, trying to force himself alongside, but he can't quite make it, and through the chicane they come. Have to be wary of that curve on the outside. The battle for the lead is still very close. Oh, and Matt Neal takes a late lunge down the inside. Side by side, the two championship contenders rubbing door handles, almost breaking door mirrors, but it's side by side, and it's Matt Neal who will have the inside line, will he? He's got more speed, and Matt Neal's got a great chance to take the lead here. He will outbrake Ivan Muller into the first corner, and Muller has been passed by Matt Neal, but Muller will not give this one up. He's never won here at Knockhill, and now after having a comfortable lead, he finds himself back in second place. Almost pushing him, he is. Neal's off in the gravel, and Muller's back through.
Well, I've no doubt Muller pushed him straight off there. I'm sorry, but Muller just pushed him off. He lined himself up behind, let off the brakes, and just pushed him off the road.
Let's take another look.
Well, watch this. Matt Neal defends the inside. Muller can stop the car now. He's hit him there, and now he's still pushing him. Look at the bumper. I mean, he's still pushing him until he gets him wide and then just drives past on the inside. If he can get onto him, it's going to be into the last hairpin. He's carried a lot of speed through there. We know he's good through this corner, Clark. He's going to have a go. Matt Neal's lining himself up for a go into the hairpin. Maybe he'll push Muller wide at the hairpin on the brakes.
Well, let's see what's going to happen. What a climax to the race this is going to be. Matt Neal, will he be able to attack at the last corner, claim back the victory that he might feel is rightfully his? These two have been hard at it throughout this race. Matt Neal trying to go around the outside, get sideways. Oh no, he loses out as a result of that, and Ivan Muller's got the drag, he's got the pull, and he's going to take his first ever win at the Scottish track at Knockhill. Ivan Muller wins, Matt Neal finishes in second place, Colin Turkington's coming through to finish in third.
A dramatic win in the rain then for Ivan Muller, and if he continued to drive like that, it was certainly time to overhaul Matt Neal's championship lead. Muller will have been mindful that there were 8 races left in the championship. So Muller first and Neal second, an unhappy comeback for Gareth Howell, with good drives from Colin Turkington and Dan Eaves. With everyone at Knockhill waiting for the red light to go off and round 23 to start, we learnt that the race would be delayed because those lights weren't working properly. So with Muller and Neal at the top of the grid and Turkington and Eaves behind them, Knockhill brought us another first in British touring cars. They started the race with a Scottish flag.
The cars have lined up on the grid. We're ready to go for the second race of the day here at Knockhill, and it's going to start with a flag. The lights have gone wrong, and so it's a completely different way of starting this race. Away they go, and Ivan Muller makes a great start. So does Turkington. Matt Neal is very slow away, didn't react to the flag particularly well, and it's Muller who leads. Turkington in second, 1-2 for Vauxhall. Matt Neal in third with his own teammate Dan Eaves in fourth position, and Tom Chilton in fifth with Jason Plato in sixth. And Ivan Muller's already making a break.
Well, Ivan Muller went as soon as the flagman twitched his arm. It wasn't even moving up, but Ivan just went. Matt was waiting for the flag to go up and down. Like I said, the guy's a gentleman, and got swamped at the start.
It's going to be very tight as they come across the line between those two, but I think Chilton's done it. Yeah, Chilton. Oh, Muller's off. Muller onto the dirt. This is an opportunity for Matt Neal. Can he take advantage of it? No, he can't.
Well, it just shows how hard Muller's pushing, but he's certainly got a possibility of a radiator full of gravel at the front, and it'll affect his rhythm. Now's the time for Matt Neal to pounce.
Well, Chilton is in a clear third, Eves is fourth, Plato is now fifth, ahead of Turkington in sixth, Collard in seventh, currently running in 10th place. And look at this alongside, Matt Neal's got the chance and he's through, he's passed Ivan Muller. Matt Neal takes the lead and a clean pass this time.
Yeah, and that's how you overtake Mr. Muller. A nice, clean, decisive pass up the inside, a beautiful pass, and Muller must be getting fed up this year of Matt passing him, but that was a really good move, and all credit to Matt. And look at this battle further back there. We've got Eves back in fourth place, but Plato now in fifth. Collard attacking Turkington, who's now having a fighting a rear guard action, and at the back of this pack is Howe.
So we're on board with Jason Plato. He goes to the outside, heading down towards the hairpin. Have we touched? Oh, he's so close. We're looking at the rear suspension of the Honda Integra. Fantastic view. Turkington running up the inside. Howell there, side by side with Gavin Smith. There's three abreast behind them as they come up the hill. This is great racing.
This is fantastic stuff. One of them's on the grass. I think that's Hines on the grass coming up behind.
Down in towards the first corner. Eves still somehow holding on to fourth place. Fourth position for Eves, fifth place for Plato, then it's Turkington in sixth, Collard in seventh, being pushed hard by Luke Hines, and then behind him it's Gareth Howell, and Howell at the moment still in a good shape for the next race. Plato now with the inside line. This could be his chance. He's later on the brakes into the first corner, and Jason Plato is through. He takes fourth place. And Eves has lost several places. Turkington's gone through, and I think Collard may well have got past. So Dan Eves suddenly he's in trouble. Eves in trouble. He slowed right down, and he's in big trouble. He's out of this race. Oh, we've got both the Lexuses off.
Oh no, it looks like it had contact, doesn't it? A lot of damage on the left-hand side of Curly's car. That's a disaster, and there's damage on the front of. Well, that's the last thing this team needs. They're really enthusiastic, hard-working, not a huge amount of money, so they're... I think Curly's lost it. On the exit of the chicane, Williams comes through the chicane unsighted. Oh, and the car's just cut. That is disaster. Nobody's fault at all, but what a shame for the team. Look at that, look at the banners on the track though. The Dunlop banner's been brought onto the track and is now in quite a dangerous place if that gets flicked up in front of somebody.
Turkington goes through in fourth place. Luke Hines just behind him in fifth position. And we gather the safety car is going to be coming out.
Well, I should think that's to move that banner because that's clearly an obstruction and a dangerous item on the track. It shouldn't be there. This will be a restart under very tricky circumstances.
Right, here we go then. Are you all set for some more frantic touring car action? The safety car, I think, is heading in. Yes, it is. And it's Matt Neal who controls the restart this time. And he's on it straight away. Unlike Ivan Muller, he doesn't wait. He gets on the power immediately. And Ivan Muller's not far behind him. Will Muller go on the attack into the first corner? He's very close behind Matt Neal, but not close enough to make a lunge for it. Tom Chilton, no, Turkington going very wide. Turkington on the grass. Gets back on again and could be in trouble there with Hines not far behind him. Could have taken advantage of that perhaps, but it's Matt Neal who does make the restart, and Collard now squeezing past Gareth Howell, gets the place and moves up into sixth position. The final lap here. It looks as though Matt Neal is going to take victory. He looks like he will beat Ivan Muller, but will Chilton be able to take second place? That's the question. Will he have a lunge into the hairpin? Coming into the last corner now, and Chilton's not quite there. Turkington's right behind him, so is Luke Hines. These guys, I think, are going to finish that way, but it's going to be who's in 10th. Mark Proctor was in 10th when they last came past us. It could all change. The win goes to Matt Neal. He prevents Vauxhall taking their 100th touring car win, at least in that one.
Matt Neal and Team Halfords were back to winning ways, and how crucial would that drive prove come the end of the season? 15 points scored for that win, while Muller got 12. Neal had re-established the lead he'd taken into the Scottish meeting. And elsewhere, Tom Chilton carried on his good form by finishing in third. It was was turning out to be a good meeting for Colin Turkington, who took fourth. The engineers at Knock Hill had got the lights working, so we won't have to be waving the sole tyre for the start of round 24. Again, for the third race of the day, the finishing order was reversed for the grid. Mark Proctor and then Rob Collard were on the front row.
Round 24 then of the 2005 Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship, all set to get underway here at Knock Hill. And we wait for the red lights to come on. Away we go, and can Mark Proctor make a good start? Well, he's off the line pretty well, but Rob Collard goes with him. Jason Plato slow away. Gareth Howell made a good start, and Gareth Howell's trying to get alongside Plato. Proctor it is who leads. Gareth Howell up into fourth place. If he can stay there, go. Proctor ran wide. Oh, he slides back in front of Plato, gets out of the way. It's Collard who leads. Plato into second. Hughes is into the gravel. Yet a little bit of a push there from somebody. Tries to get back on if he can. Instead, he's lost all of those places. And it's Rob Collard who's taken advantage.
Yeah, great start from Collard. Unfortunately for Proctor, he just was overcommitted into that first corner and ran wide. And Plato didn't waste any time getting up the inside into McIntyre. Is that Neil?
No, it's
Eves.
Oh.
Eves is out. Well, the safety car's out anyway. They were still racing, as I was saying. That looks like Kay.
No,
yeah, that's
Neil,
Kay.
yes, yeah, it is.
So they've had an incident on this lap. They do race right up until the hairpin, as I say. Now they'll be under the safety car conditions across the start-finish line.
Howell's off as
Howell's
well.
gone off as well at the hairpin.
Oh no, what disaster for Howell. Matt Neal not making a particularly quick restart. He's actually dropped away a touch from Ivan Muller on the restart there. Plato goes a touch wide, and that gives a hint of an opportunity for Ivan Muller. Muller having a look down the inside. I think he may well have done it. He's into second place.
Well, that was a brilliant and brave move by Muller, because that's where Plato put him off last year. So he went for it, but he had the momentum to get through before the chicane. Amazing now, Muller up into second place.
As we ride on board, as Matt Neal keeps hounding Jason Plato, wants an opportunity to move into third, but he's not going to take too big a gamble. The last thing he needs now is a non-finish. He's got to keep scoring points.
Yeah, he carries good speed through there, but the Seat is now, it's 15 kilos lighter this meeting. Matt looks up the inside, that's his favourite place to pass. He's going to do it, I'm sure. Great, that was a good pass. That was a really good pass. He knows his grip on the inside. He's passed Muller there before, and the car going wide has to just hesitate before he can get back on the map. And now Chilton's on the outside.
Yeah, Jason Plato on the inside, Chilton trying to do the same. Matt Neal is now in third place, so Muller and Neal are second and third.
This is a pivotal moment. Now, Matt Neal, take your time getting past. Take your time, because Muller's got a problem. Muller knows he's got a problem. Matt's got to get through. Muller's being ultra defensive, even though the car's running on three cylinders. I knew that was going to happen. I couldn't believe it.
What's going to happen here? Matt Neal's off surely. Oh, they're fighting, but there's Howell sideways with Plato, and it's Plato who's off now. Matt Neal's got back through. Matt Neal's got back through all that. Amazing action going on. And they're right in the middle of it as well, Luke.
The rear suspension's broken on Heinz's car. Yeah. I knew that Muller was going to try and hold Matt Neal up, because he knew his race was over. And what happened was Matt Neal got backed into Plato and the rest of the gang, and they all just attacked him. But Matt Neal has kept going. Muller's still in problem.
Wow, what action here. Gareth Howell now leading that next little group. Turkington's in there too. But Matt Neal did get through that. There is Matt Neal just coming through the shot, and Muller's into the pits. It's all over this race for Ivan Muller. And is the championship over? Well, I tell you what, that's a critical moment in this year's championship. That could be the end of Ivan Muller's challenge. There are still 6 races to go after this one, but that's a major blow to Ivan Muller's hopes. Second place, Matt Neal here is going to gain another 12 points at least on Ivan Muller from this race, and that could be the story of the championship. In his day job, he's a demolition man. He runs a demolition company, and he has demolished the opposition in this final race of the day. He started in second place on the grid, and he's just let them all fight behind him as he's serenely gone on his way out in front. He's only got the last corner to do, and this, as you said to him earlier, is going to be a massively popular win throughout the paddock. I don't think anyone will be upset about Rob Collard taking his first win. It's fully deserved. He's just cruising up the hill now, and Rob Collard takes his first win in the British Touring Car Championship. WSR take their first win of the season.
That was Rob Collard's first ever British Touring Car win. A well-deserved it was too, battling through the rain at Knock Hill. Matt Neal's second place collected in a precious 12 championship points, way ahead of Ivan Muller, who could only manage to finish in 9th place after all the mayhem. So Rob Collard finished the day with a few celebrations. Surely that won't be the last time we'll see Rob celebrating a victory. Collard had worked his way up through the touring car ranks and finally got the victory both he and West Surrey Racing deserved. But look who's celebrating as well. Matt Neal was a full 30 points ahead of Ivan Muller going into the penultimate meeting at Silverstone. He may have been spraying the champagne around, but he knew it wasn't over yet. Job done though at Knock Hill.
Oh, I'm over the moon. Again, the car was just Team Alfred's. It's a win for all the guys, not just me.
But the talking points at Knock Hill were not all so positive.
When Ivan started playing games and Jason rammed me from behind, I'll tell you what, that was just disgraceful. He's an absolute pig, Plato. And I'll tell you what, I hope Seat are proud of their lead driver, the way he's driving. That was awful. I was lucky to get out of it, which makes it even sweeter, to come back with a podium. I was only just managed, by pure luck, that I managed to get out of it all. So to come away with results like this weekend, and in the championship, it's not nice to see Ivan not finish, but for the championship, for me, it's good.
On to Silverstone, the home of British motorsport. Here, Ivan Muller could claw back the lead that Neal had built, or Neal could put himself out of sight. All to drive for. Once again, Gareth Howell was in fantastic qualifying form. He was on pole, followed by Tom Chilton. Matt Neal was back in 6th with Ivan Muller in 8th position.
22 laps of the national circuit here at Silverstone. Gareth Howell starts on his first ever pole position. Can he convert it into victory? Wait for the lights to go out. It's a quick change. And Gareth Howell, Tom Chilton and Dan Eves all pull away very evenly. Good start from Colin Turkington and Ivan Muller. Both Vauxhalls are away well, but the race lead, I think, Gareth Howell as he heads down towards Copse Corner. No, Chilton squeezes past, and both Vauxhalls are going well. Ivan Muller's up to 3rd, I think. Turkington got squeezed out of it through Copse Corner, but what a mega start from the Frenchman Ivan Muller. He's in 3rd place.
Well, that just worked out perfectly for him. He got a great start, ran up the inside, and the field just parted for him. Chilton got away a little bit better than Howell and had the inside overlap in the first corner. A lot of good racing and passing already. Muller's car is slow on the straight. It's about 3 miles an hour slower than Pickford's car. Very quick on the straight.
Yeah, and so Ivan Muller, Pickford makes a mistake there, runs wide, gathered that together very well, but that was a little mistake from Pickford, and it's just given a little margin there to Ivan Muller as he heads up towards Beck. It's Howell! Gareth Howell from 2nd's made a big mistake, and Ivan Muller's taking 2nd. Gareth Howell just braked too late, and Pickford's going to take 3rd.
Yeah, Gareth braked obviously a little bit late, slightly colder rear tyres, and it just went round on him on the damper part of the track. Muller and Pickford straight through.
A look back at Howell's mistake. That was Howell's mistake when he lost 2nd position. But I gather we've got some fun and games going on circuit at the moment. Yes, Eves is off.
Well, that could be a safety car because it's in a dangerous place. But unseen by us, Pickford has passed Muller for 2nd.
So, yeah, look at that. You can confirmation of that. Chilton leads, but Pickford is 2nd now in the Seat. Ivan Muller under pressure for his third place from Gareth Howell, and Pickford's the fastest man on circuit in that Seat. He's just set fastest lap. Howell bounces over the curb. The safety car is on circuit though, I can see it from our commentary position. Distance will be 24 laps. The safety car is in. Here we go, racing once again. It's Chilton who leads them away, but James Pickford, fastest man on circuit, could go on the attack. He could be on for his first win in touring cars at the same venue that Tom Chilton did it in 2004, but Chilton won't make it easy for him. He's a race winner this year. He knows what's the job is here. He's got to try and defend. Third place for Ivan Muller. He's defending from Gareth Howell and Colin Turkington, his own teammates in there as well. Then the other Seats are there of Luke Hines and Jason Plato, and out of Beckett's they come, and Ivan Muller's definitely under pressure because Gareth Howell's alongside and the leaders are going side by side as well. Great racing on the national circuit at Silverstone. Chilton has the line into the left-hander for the lead, holds on to it for the moment, and Ivan, cool tyre, sliding a lot there. Muller just holding on to third, and in fact Howell's been muscled out as a result of that. Let's just take a look at how that happened. It was all getting very defensive. Muller held everybody up well, and Howell squeezed out to the edge.
Yeah, and a good move there by Turkington to get down the inside. The gap had opened up by Muller. That's the problem down that straight. If you hold the inside and the car goes trying to overtake you, goes on the outside, he's nowhere to go.
Tom Chilton continues to lead from James Pickford in second place, Ivan Muller third, Colin Turkington in fourth. For Vauxhall, this is a much better situation. They've now got Colin what a big slide from Matt Neal, championship leader, and he's been passed there. He's been passed by Gavin Smith, so Matt Neal has lost a couple of places because James Kay's also gone through.
Yeah, and Collard as well.
And look at this, yes, he's having a look down the inside. That's a good effort from Gareth Howell, but is he going to run too wide on the exit? Just manages to hold it. Luke Hines is coming back at him. Great racing between two young guns, and I think Gareth's got the place.
Yeah, Gareth was so determined to make sure he got fully alongside, but of course when you turn in that much earlier, it's harder to stop the car. You can stop the car better by turning in later. You've got more weight on all four wheels, and he only just got the car stopped before running off, but he did gain the place. A good block pass, really.
Here comes Tom Chilton into the final proper corner on this national circuit, and it's Chilton who's going to take his fourth win of 2005 and back-to-back victories at Silverstone, because it was here last year that he took his first ever win, and he crosses the line with a little swerve of delight. Second goes to James Pickford, third to Jason Plato. Good drive from him.
Well, the wins kept coming for Tom Chilton. After that double at Snetterton, here was another at Silverstone. It was a useful second for James Pickford, while Ivan Muller's fourth, and that he gained valuable ground on Matt Neal, who finished ninth. All that meant that Chilton and Pickford started on the front row for round 26. Muller started well ahead of Neal. Was this the chance the Frenchman had been looking for? Let's find out.
Round 26 of the Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship set to get underway here at Silverstone. Can Tom Chilton make it 2 out of 2, or will he be beaten by the Seats? Away we go, and it's a good start from Chilton. A terrible start by James Pickford. Jason Plato moves immediately into second, and Ivan Muller is going to take third. There's contact mid-grid, and I think they got away with it. I think they managed to keep going. They did. Muller's in third, Turkington's in fourth, Howell and Pickford right behind them, and James Pickford made an awful start. On board with Ivan Muller. The two leaders just ahead. Jason Plato moving to the inside. Look how he's all... they made contact on the straight, and Chilton's backwards on the straight. Would you believe it? Howell's come into second. Plato leads the race, and Muller is still third.
Well, I mean, Chilton was defending the inside, and it was almost inevitable, I guess, that contact be made. Unfortunately, Chilton's kept going, and incredibly hasn't lost two. But there's more contact there with Collard leading on one of the Halfords cars. Is that Matt Neal? It is Matt Neal. That's not a situation, so contact all over the place at the moment. Chilton's defending the inside. He's trying to get up the inside. He's got a little bit of extra speed on him, a little bit of extra speed. Contact made there, and it's at an angle, and that just turns the car. And, well, Chilton was a passenger all the way through that one. Oh, Pickford's off.
Yeah, Pickford, and that's with his own teammate, Tim. What's going on? Oh, no, look at the damage as well, as Pickford tries to get back on the track. Oh, this has all gone disastrously wrong for him. Let's just take another look at what was going on there. Oh, Pickford actually, they didn't make contact. I thought there'd been contact between him and Hines, but no, that was Pickford's mistake.
Yeah, may have been contact just prior to us seeing that. He was already losing the back end at the time, but may have been some contact.
On board.
Here's Collard, he's fighting off Hines. Here we are side by side.
Yeah, this is good racing down the National Straight towards the left-hander. Muller comes through in third, then who's going to be fourth? And Matt Neal's on the inside, and he's taken fourth place. Matt Neal comes from nowhere, but he gets a bit of a clout from Luke Hines. More contact, would you believe it? And Matt Neal busily trying to sort all this out. He's trying to drive for the championship, and now he's been there. Oh, now he's been knocked off. He's been knocked off. He just stays out of the wall, but Matt Neal has got to get back on. He's had no non-finishes at all this year. Could this be his first non-finish? Well, no, he's back on circuit, but he's way down.
Well, it was all going on. It looked like that was working perfectly for Matt Neal. This is the end of it with Collard up behind him, pushing him wide. Collard had got slightly up the inside in Luffield, but just kept pushing, and round he went.
He missed that wall by inches, Tim.
Well, so close. That's the result of damage to Collard's car. He's got an interesting view. Looks like a wide-mouthed basking shark, doesn't it? It's a new model MG. Here comes Collard into the pits.
Yes, and somebody else coming into the pits. That is Muller. Ivan Muller is into the pits. Well, this is hugely important, because Ivan Muller looked as though he was going to close the gap in the championship, but he's into the pits. And there must be a mechanical problem with that car. Collard is also in. This completely changes the nature of this race, and indeed the championship as well. They're having a good old look around. It must be surely some sort of engine problem. Where's Howell gone? Where has he gone? He's disappeared.
That's why he was looking in the mirror. He couldn't see him.
He's going very slowly. He's still in second, because they were way ahead of the battle for third. But suddenly he's dropped right back. And look at Dan Eves trying to get that third place from Luke Hines. Good chance. And Gavin Smith in there as well. And Hines and Smith both on for their best results of the year, if they can get a decent result here. Trying around the outside.
Was that a puncture I saw?
Right.
Something was flapping on the left rear. Watch when that car comes back. No, it was just the bodywork, I think. Something's flapping there. Something off. But Smith is the remaining Vauxhall going.
Yeah, but he's going well, isn't he? Because he's got in amongst them now. But what's the problem for Howell? He's struggling. He hasn't pitted. He's been passed. He's really struggling, and that means that coming up into second place is Luke Hines. Luke Hines is into second. Third place is Gavin Smith. Both these guys, the best results they've had this year are several fifth places. That neither of them have had a podium, and suddenly they're running second Luke Hines, third Gavin Smith, and fourth for Dan Eves. There's going to be no problem for Jason Plato. He's going to take a very comfortable victory. He's 11 seconds ahead of this group racing for second. Look at Plato. He's just ahead of Collard there. Collard, of course, losing a lap as a result of coming into the pits. It's Plato who's going to win the second race of the day at Silverstone in a hard, uncompromising style. Plato takes the victory.
He may have taken the flag, but Jason Plato was in trouble again. He was charged with careless driving in the incident with Tom Chilton. So that was Luke Hines who took victory. Matt Neal was fifth, while Muller failed to finish. So the celebrations turned out to be fairly hollow for Jason Plato. After the incidents at Knock Hill, he was beginning to get a bad reputation. So the reverse grid for round 27 looked like this. Rob Collard on pole, followed by Mark Proctor. Matt Neal was back in seventh, well ahead of Ivan Muller.
Here we go. Wait for the red lights to come on. And we're racing, and Rob Collard tries to get off the line. Great start from Tom Chilton. The black Honda, who started third, is already putting the pressure on Rob Collard. Mark Proctor made a poor start in the Privateer Astra, the silver and blue car, but it is Collard who leads into the first corner. He's ahead of Tom Chilton. Chilton, though, is one to watch here. He won the earlier race, and running wide there, James Pickford going very wide out of the corner, but Collard versus Chilton, and they're all ganging up on the Lexus there of Williams as they come up towards Beckett's corner. It could get pretty tight here, and Muller and everybody trying to squeeze through at the moment.
Muller's made good progress right from the back. He made another one of his characteristic lightning starts. Poor old Mark Proctor, though, he's gone from the front to the back in 3 corners. Gareth Howell running protection. Here he is. You're looking back from Matt Neal's car straight into the eyes of Gareth Howell. He's running protection now for Matt, and he needs to do a good job here.
Yeah, he does, that's right. Matt Neal hoping to score as many points as possible to make... Oh, and off the track has gone Gavin Smith, has run wide there, and the man who had a good podium finish in the last race in trouble in this one. Whether there was contact with someone, I'm not sure. And Matt Neal's gone ever so wide out of Cook's corner. He's still going, but he's lost a place, several, and Ivan Muller's gone past him. Richard Williams is off in the gravel in the Lexus, and there was a little bit of contact in that mid-pack.
Yeah, and again, it may be, well, there's one of the Seats coming through just into the back of your picture there. It's Luke Hines with a lot of contact, with a lot of damage to the car. He must have been involved. I wouldn't be surprised to see the safety car. There's Hines' car with heavy body damage. Wouldn't be surprised to see the safety car come out.
Well, that's, yeah, you're right, absolutely. As you say, I can see it coming onto circuit, Tim, so safety car is coming onto circuit.
It was a great restart. Rob Collard did the best he could, but those 2 Hondas in their 2 different guises, the Civic of Tom Chilton, and look at that power, look at the car, the Halfords car, the Castrol car of Gareth Howell. He's got alongside and got the inside.
Yeah, this is a good move by Gareth Howell. He's into second place. He's got past Tom Chilton, and those 2 guys who started this meeting on the front row together. Remember, Gareth Howell had pole position, and there's the Team Halfords pit keeping a close eye on the progress of their men. And here comes Howell again, has a look down the inside. Ooh, brake locking, you almost wonder whether it wasn't going to go wrong there.
It's so difficult. That is, oh, he's got an overlap. That was really good. Brilliant move. I don't know why Rob Collard left the door open, but, well, Gareth was in there so quickly.
That was excellent stuff. Oh, there's a little bit of a touch. Careful, boys. And Gareth Howell makes sure that he cuts across to the inside there. Now we're riding on board Rob Collard. He's just lost the lead. Can he get it straight back? It's always the ideal situation. Go straight back past the other guy. Sliding there, Howell. Look at the back end of the car working.
Yeah, Matt hasn't been able to keep up after the restart. That closed them all up and should have given him a chance to get back on the group. That's Pickford. He's off there for the 3rd time. He did it twice in the ALS, and Plato behind him. Maybe it's a new Seat line.
Yeah, he's got to watch out though, isn't he? Because it doesn't do him any favours at all. He's lost that place now to Dan Eaves as a result of it, and Dan Eaves is now into 4th position.
Has he got up the inside? Has he got into Pickford wide again?
Yeah, Pickford making a mistake through Kopp's corner, and I think Ivan Muller, oh, he's alongside. Can he make the move stick? He's on the inside line now for Beckett's. He should be able to do this. Yep, he's through on the inside, and Pickford's going to lose another place, as Plato's also going to go past his own teammate there. And Pickford, I don't know whether he's got a problem with the car, but he just keeps going that little bit too wide. Gareth Howell is heading for his first ever win. We're on the final lap. He's only got a few corners to go. Behind them it's still Collard and Chilton and Dan Eaves. There's no change there, and unless Chilton takes a really big risk coming into the last couple of corners, I don't think he's going to be able to get through and take second place. So he's just going to have to settle for 3rd. But Gareth Howell, how must he be feeling in that car right now? He's had to sit out most of this season, but the 24-year-old from Bromley has driven so well here today. He's into the final proper corner at Luffield. Chilton can't attack. It's going to be victory for Gareth Howell, the youngster who started racing when he was only 8 years old in karts, and he's come through to take his first ever win in touring cars. Brilliant drive by Gareth Howell.
What an achievement that was for Gareth Howell. A victory. He'd only been back in the championship for 2 meetings. With Collard second and Chilton third, there was a little hope for Ivan Muller, who gained a couple of places on Matt Neal. So another celebration for Team Halfords, this time for Gareth Howell, a 24-year-old who started racing when he was just 8 years of age. Team Halfords would also have enjoyed the sight of the leaderboard going into the last meeting. Matt Neal preserved that 30-point cushion, but the final word of the day came from Gareth Howell.
It's just unbelievable. It's been so long. But, you know, none of that matters now because the car was just unbelievable the whole way through the race. I could push in the last few laps just as I could in the opening laps. And the guys did an amazing job, Pete and Adam and Adrian as well. Just did a fantastic job to get the engine changed anyway. And I was glad that it worked, let alone that we were going that quick.
Matt Neal was the name on most people's lips in early October at Brands Hatch. 30 points ahead, it was his title to lose or throw away. It looked like Team Halfords were already preparing to celebrate. One of their team, Danny's, was fastest in qualifying with Gavin Smith next to him on the grid. Ivan Muller was in third with Matt Neal lurking right behind him in fifth.
All set to go. Is Matt Neal going to become champion in the first race of the day? The light goes out. Danny's makes a good start from pole position. Gavin Smith goes with him, but Ivan Muller's in there as well. Ivan Muller trying to slot up into second place. Now, will he get some help from his teammate here? No. Gavin Smith takes that second place. It's Eves ahead of Smith and Ivan Muller. Matt Neal's got away cleanly in fourth.
Matt Neal did get away cleanly, but he wasn't as close to the back of Ivan Muller as he'd like. Howell's getting muscled out on the outside, put right out on the grass there, but the first three away, and as you say, Gavin Smith didn't give room for Muller on the first corner.
Gareth Howell and Luke Hines bashing door panels as they come through Graham Hill Bend, but they both stay on the circuit. There's Rob Collard trying to join in as well as they turn into the left-hander. This is Surtees. It leads out onto the longest straight on the Grand Prix circuit, and the race leader is Dan Eves. A good start from him, but also a good start from Matt Neal. Matt Neal's in a good position. He's just keeping his nose clean, and if anything, he's caught up a bit to the back of Ivan Muller over the last lap.
Matt Neal just letting his tyres come in, and now he's starting to push. He's got an easy position, a nice position, a comfortable position, only a couple of points in it between these two positions. He's just going to put Muller under a little bit of pressure and let the race come back to him. He's got protection from behind, so at the moment it's an advantage situation for Neal and Halfords.
If it stays this way, Matt Neal wouldn't wrap up the title in this race, but he would be on the verge of doing it in race number 2 this afternoon, and it would put him in an ideal spot. But he's got to get to the finish. He doesn't want to get tangled up here, and whether he'll feel confident about running quite this close to other cars. The good thing from his point of view is it is his teammate that's right behind him, so hopefully it's not as if Howell is going to run into his rear bumper. Jason Plato having a little look at the inside of Howell. Jason Plato makes the move on Gareth Howell. These two have had a couple of comings together already, even though Howell hasn't been around much. Plato gets past, and that was a good move from Jason. It looked pretty clean, and he's into 5th place.
That was an excellent move. Howell not doing his job there. He didn't close the door, and Collard is on the back of this group. Now look, there's Rob Collard. He's not friends with anybody. He'll go for everything. So it's starting to just build up, isn't it? It's starting to get awkward for Matt Neal.
The man we're riding with, that's Rob Collard.
Yeah, Rob's looking up the inside here of Howell as well. He's got a good run. Is Rob going to do it? He's tight, braking on the turn. He's got alongside. They're going to come out side by side. If Howell doesn't go on the grass, I think Howell must be on the grass because Collard was right up to the edge of the track. Yeah, so Collard's got through.
Well, Gareth Howell managed to stay there. He's not got squeezed right out. Sometimes you see people push right out into the barrier there, but that was a good move from Collard, aggressive, but he got down the inside again. The gap was there, and he went for it. It's on to lap number 12. Matt Neal will not be too happy about seeing Jason Plato right behind him, and then Rob Collard as well. He does not want to get hit. Jason Plato has a look down the inside into Panagill then. They're side by side. Collard's off behind them, and I think Jason Plato has taken Matt Neal on the approach to Druids. Collard is out of this one, but Matt Neal just having to give a little bit of space there to Jason Plato, and Plato has now come up into third position. The safety car is standing by. I think we may see the safety car on circuit. Ivan Muller now has a buffer between himself and Matt Neal. So the cars now having seen the safety car board. Oh, look. Rob, what are you doing? That was to Gareth Howell.
Yeah, it was. He's not happy, and I mean, we need to see it again, obviously, to see. But one thing this is going to do is close the pack up. Let's have a look, though. We can see what actually happened. This is on the approach. Well, we're on board with Collard, and he's going for the apex, and there's a tap from the rear three-quarter. Clearly, though, he may not have been aware how close Howell was. This is maybe a better angle. Look at the back of your screen, not at the pass Plato's making. Difficult to see, really, because we couldn't see the braking area for that one.
All set for the restart here. Dan Eaves will lead them round to the line. Does he know the safety car's in? I think he must do. Surely he'll wait. He can choose when to go. It's up to the race leaders to decide, but he's certainly waiting. I'm not sure. Is he aware that this race...
Yes, he's aware. He's just playing the game. The car's pulled in. He knows the car's gone in. The team have told him. He's just literally waiting to decide. He can decide when he goes.
Yeah, well, where's he going to go then? Where's he going to go?
There he goes.
Right.
Sorry, I think you've done that really well, because, you know, Gavin Smith was just caught napping there.
They'll come around out of Stirling. Look, Muller's down the inside into Stirling's. I think he may be going through to take second place. Ivan Muller, a bit of a late lunch, but I think maybe Gavin Smith will have given him the space as they come down into Clearways. Yeah, Muller's into second place. No surprise there then, Tim. He's got the position, and Smith now having to defend from Jason Plato. So Matt Neal will lose another couple of points to Ivan Muller, but again, it's not time to panic. Here goes Plato. Plato on Smith. Very tight turning in. Look at them pushing each other round. Oh, and Jason's done another one. That was another beautiful move.
That was a peach of a move, wasn't it? I mean, he was right up the inside, but he didn't lean, and look, it's all going on now.
Matt Neal's gone through as well.
And so too is Gareth Howell trying to get through, but he's on the outside. Matt Neal was forced into making a move there because the gap just opened up for him. Oh no!
Gavin Smith.
Yeah, he's had a disastrous last lap.
Oh, and he comes back on just ahead of his own teammate Colin Turkington. Here comes Dan Eaves. Dan Eaves has driven absolutely perfectly from pole position. It's another victory for Team Alford. It's Dan Eaves who takes the win. Second goes to Ivan Muller. Third to Jason Plato. And fourth position to Matt Neal. Job done for now for Matt Neal, but he's got to wait a little longer before he can really get his hands on that championship trophy.
So, welcome Team Halford's win for Dan Eaves, who'd certainly made his mark on the 2005 championship, collecting 5 victories in all, an achievement well worth the celebrating. But how about the big battle for the championship? Ivan Muller trying to overhaul Matt Neal's lead. Round 28 did see him steal 4 points from Neal, but would it be enough? As the touring cars drove into position for round 29 at Silverstone, the situation was quite clear. Only Ivan Muller and Matt stood a chance of winning the championship. But Matt Neal's consistency had made him clear favourite. Muller had to score 9 points more than Neal. If Muller finished lower than 5th, then Neal would be champion. So there's the crucial grid. Dan Eaves followed by Muller. Matt Neal had to be confident, while Muller could only hope for a rare mistake.
We get all set for the penultimate round of the Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship at Brands Hatch. Watch the lights go out, and Dan Eaves tries to get away from pole position. Ivan Muller makes a good start on the outside. The Frenchman's going for it. We said he had to, and he's going to try and take the lead into the first corner. But Dan Eaves is right with him. He leans on him. They're side by side. A big slide from Ivan Muller. They're in, okay, but Turkington's not. Turkington's off in the gravel trap on the outside. Dan Eaves lead from Ivan Muller in second place, Jason Plato in third, and Matt Neal safely away in fourth.
Yeah, so Muller tried so hard to get in front there on the start. He knew that was his best chance. He wants maximum points, but Eve duked it out with him on, had the inside line. That's Turkington with damage, looks like, to the engine from going through the gravel track. Well, he's got a puncture as well.
Well, problems for Turkington. And in fact, Matt Neal not in fourth, he's in fifth place. I think Gavin Smith got a good start in the other Vauxhall. Yeah, he's in fourth place. So Matt Neal just a little further back, is he indeed? No,
James Kay, I think, right up there as well.
Yeah.
Fantastic start from James Kay to get into fifth place, I think. Here we go, Plato down the inside of Smith.
No, down
inside of Muller, apologies.
That's right, he's taken second place. This is bad news from Ivan Muller's point of view. Less points available for third. So Ivan Muller not preparing to fight it out quite as much as you might have expected there. He's dropped down to third place. But we're watching James Kay, then Matt Neal in the Team Halford's car. And these guys are running fifth and sixth, and behind them in seventh is James Pickford. Nothing much to choose between them. Matt Neal decides to go for it down the inside. Got to keep it clean, and James Kay doesn't try and fight it out too much, so it's a good move from Matt Neal.
Yeah, I think he had to do that. He knew he had the faster car, a bit like the first race. He took just a couple of laps to get the tyres up to full pressure, full grip, but now he's moving forward. He had to do that because of the Seat back up behind him. He knows he's got a faster car, and there's a gap in front, he can close it up. I was surprised Muller making it so easy for Plato to get through, but Plato's passing into paddock this weekend has been exemplary.
Let's just take another look at this one, Tim. It looked pretty easy.
Yeah, well, it's not easy. It's over the bump in the inside of the track, but basically Matt just waited till James went on the brakes, let the car run on a car's length extra, and then jumped on the brakes. But he didn't run wide. It was a good, clean pass, and full marks also to James to giving him room.
That was Matt Neal on the grass coming out of Hawthorns. My goodness, he doesn't need that. Behind them there's a big battle going on as well, but Matt Neal suddenly, that will have caused the heart to flutter a little bit. He's where he needs to be. Dan Eves leads, Jason Plato second, there's Muller, then it's his teammate Gavin Smith, and Matt Neal has closed up on these two Vauxhalls. He's on the attack a little more, he doesn't need to push that much. Where he is right now will do perfectly. He'll be champion if it finishes like this.
He will, he doesn't need to get involved. The car's come to him, he's closed up that gap, set a very quick lap on that lap, and he's really in a comfortable position. He's actually dropped Pickford massively on the... Oh, he's going to go for it.
Oh, he's taking a gamble. He's gone past Smith.
Well, fair play to him, fair play to him. Perhaps Matt just feels if he's got the car under him and he's got in the zone, he needs to just carry on the progress. If he who hesitates is lost sometimes, and it's good to see. That's Di Neal, that's Matt's mother. She's seen a million races. Well, she looks relaxed. She gets a cheer, but believe me, the butterflies will be turning inside her stomach. There's Karen, Matt's fiance. Both he and his teammate Dan Eves got engaged earlier this year. They were fighting it out off the track and on the track.
Look at the leaders together, close as well. Dan Eves was very close. Touch! My goodness! Look at that! Matt Neal and Ivan Muller actually touched there, coming up towards Hawthorns. They both stay alive, stay going, but I thought that could be tears then. And look, right behind Gavin Smith getting involved, as well as James Pickford.
Muller's got a puncture. Muller's got a left front puncture from that contact down the hill.
And
look, there it goes. That's the championship over.
That is it. Matt Neal is champion. Ivan Muller had to score 9 points more than Matt Neal. Matt Neal's done it.
The team know it. The team know it.
Team Halfords have won the driver's title.
And look at ever the professionals on the pit wall writing down the lap times. I think I'd have thrown the book on the floor and eaten the pen. They've won it. They've won the championship. That move. Well, that's Kathy. That's Barry Plowman's wife, the chief engineer. They've won the championship. There's no doubt about it. That contact between Muller and Neal, unprecedented. Muller didn't need to put the force on the move on it, but he caused him a puncture and he's out.
It's all over. in terms of the championship. After 14 years of trying, Matt Neal has wrapped up the title. Oh, he's going to celebrate for a long time tonight. But look, his teammate might still win this race. We're at half distance, and Jason Plato still keeps the pressure on Dan Eaves.
Yeah, Plato's still looking to win this race. Oh, he's gone through!
Wow.
There's a problem there for Eaves. Did he run wide, or has he got a gearbox problem or something? He lost some speed, certainly coming out of Westfield.
So drama again as Jason Plato takes the lead here.
That was a reaction in the garage when they saw the puncture, but that briefest of contact was enough to cause a puncture.
It's James Pickford here in 4th position with Gareth Howell chasing him. Gavin Smith behind them. Then it's James Kay in 7th, Rob Collard in 8th, Luke Hines in 9th, and Jason Hughes still in 10th, side by side here as they come down the hill. But Pickford has the inside line. Howell goes for a late lunge down the inside. Oh, there's contact. Pickford's off and Howell is through. Well, I wonder what the clerk of the course will make of that. Howell was already penalised today for what happened in race 1 with Rob Collard. They might take a look at that one as well. Board now with Matt Neal, and it's nearly there, Matt. You just want to finish this race and it's all sorted out. Look how close he is to the back of Dan Eaves now. The two teammates running in formation. Ahead of them is Jason Plato, and he's opened up a fairly useful lead over these two. But Matt Neal can just enjoy the last part of this race. He's been working for 14 years to get to this point where he's wrapped up the championship, and after winning that cheque for £250,000 back in 1999, and he became the first ever outright winner of a race as an independent. He wasn't works back then either, and he won that cheque for £250,000. I think this is going to be even more important to him.
No question about it. That was a sweet victory, and financially very, very good, but nothing can compare to the teamwork, the effort that they've put into winning this, the ultimate crown, the championship, the Drivers' Championship, and the first independent to do it since 1991, the year before I won it, when Will Hoy won it in a BMW. Quite an achievement against the big teams of Vauxhall and Seat this year.
Yeah, a tremendous achievement. These two guys continuing on their way towards a podium finish for each, and Gareth Howell, who's running in 4th place, then Gavin Smith, James Pickford, James Kay, Luke Hines is 8th, then in 9th position is Jason Hughes. Rob Collard is currently in 10th place. Fiona Leggett's dropped back again a little bit, so she has dropped out of that top 10 position. She's in the pits, in fact, so obviously problems with that car. Whether it was because of the accident that she had with Collard, I don't know, but she's not going to be starting up at the front for race number 3. It looks as though pole position will go to Rob Collard, which is what he was working for, I'm sure. But pole position or not, it's the championship that this man came to win here today. And Matt Neal is now on his final lap, following Dan Eaves and Jason Plato. It looks as though Plato's all set to take victory for Seat. It's been a little bit of a drought for Seat this year in terms of wins compared to last season. This will be his 3rd win. He won 7 races last year. Things have really come good for them in this final meeting. But all the attention is surely going to be on Team Halford and on Matt Neal. Dan Eaves and Matt Neal running absolutely together. I think they're going to virtually cross the line together, Tim.
Yeah, very fitting. They should have a double podium in this race when Matt clinches the championship, and it reflects the season they've had so far. But also not to take anything away from Jason Plato, who drove aggressively at the start, made good pass, and deserves to win this race.
Yep, there's no doubt. Plato's driven well all day so far. He's overtook a lot of cars in race 1. He's moved up from 3rd on the grid to win this one, and James Pickford has also moved up in this race too. He's in 6th place. But the story of the day is that Matt Neal is going to take the title here in the 2nd race of the day. They're through the last corner now, and Jason Plato is going to take victory in round 29 of the championship. But Matt Neal is the British Touring Car Champion of 2005. He's done it. He's done it. An independence team has taken Matt Neal to the title, and not just any independence team, it's his family-run team. There is Steve Neal, and what a moment it is for all of the guys. They've worked so hard over this year, for his mechanics, Kevin Owen and Richard Townsend as well, for Alex Somerset, who designed the car and acts as his race engineer, for the whole team, for Ollie Collins, the young team manager. What an achievement this is for all of them.
The 2005 touring car season was all about those cars, the Team Halford's Hondas. Dan Eaves took 2nd here, but Matt Neal was crowned champion after coming in 3rd. A huge achievement for Matt Neal, his family, who was so involved, and the independent Team Halfords itself. So the winner, Jason Plato, but with Neal third and Muller failing to score, the title went to Matt Neal. There couldn't have been a more popular winner for the touring car fans. Matt Neal battled around these circuits for so long now, it looked like those Team Halford celebrations would go long on into the night. But there was another race to go in the touring car season, and as usual, it would be action-packed, with this time Neat and Collard on the front row.
Last couple of cars are moving into position, and we're getting all set to go here at Brands Hatch. It is the final race of the 2005 Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship. One more victory to be won by somebody, but who is that someone going to be? Rob Collard, who will try and go from the outside of the front row, a space where poleman Andy Neat should be, and it's a good start for Collard. Collard leads, Hughes in second place, the Seats both going well. It's Pickford who's come up into third place, Hines who's behind him. Hines is trying to get up the inside there of Gavin Smith, and I think he's managed it. Matt Neal's in the middle there, Jason Plato a bit further back. What about Ivan Muller? Well, he's not rocketed away this time, he's in there, but he's not moved ahead, and his main rival, Dan Eves, is a few places ahead of him. Look at this, Matt Neal getting up the inside of Gavin Smith. Unusual place to overtake, but I think he's made it through. Yes, he's nipped past. He's now behind Jason Hughes.
Gavin Smith just had a problem there, lost a bit of momentum coming through Westfield. That was all Matt Neal needed to get up the inside. Not a usual overtaking place unless someone makes a mistake. And now they're just queuing up behind Jason Hughes. Matt Neal round the outside. This could end in the gravel if he's not careful, but Jason gives him a lot of room. They're side by side down the front straight now.
Oh, this is great. Look how close it is. And Muller is at the back of that group as well, so watch out for him. He's trying to go down the inside. Oh, there's contact. He's hit. That was Muller who hit Eves. The two who were battling for the second place in the championship. Oh, what a shame. A big accident into Paddock Hill Bend. It's involved several cars, and it all got a bit too fraught. Look at the damage to Dan Eves' car as well. Oh dear, what a shame in the final race of the championship.
Well, that's a real shame. To be honest, I don't think that was anyone's fault. It looked worse than it was in terms of blame. It's just that they were running close behind Jason Hughes' car, coming down the straight, different braking points for everybody, running very close. It was almost like a rolling start first lap of a race, and inevitably there was contact, but we need to see it again.
Let's take another look. This is at real speed. This is how it actually happened. We're quite a long way back, up through Dingledale, and taking a look at how the whole gaggle really got together here, Tim.
Yeah, you can see just on that run down to Stirling's, all the brakes coming on in different places and everybody nearly running into each other. And of course, for the cars that are unsighted, it is very difficult. And we end up with this situation here where we've got two cars side by side, another two side by side. Muller gets a great run through the corner, faster than all the four cars in front of him, comes up behind, suddenly finds everyone on their brakes, taps into the back of Eves, and bang, in a split second, all three cars are out.
Ivan Muller, desperately disappointed, talking there to Jason Plato. Some tyre temperature being built up once again, and Collard now restarts the race, and here we go. Let's keep it clean, boys. It's Rob Collard from James Pickford and Luke Hines in third, Matt Neal in fourth position.
This is going to be tough.
It's
He's got to concede to Hines. Will he try and cut back inside on the run up to Druids? He takes the curb, touches a fraction. Oh, well held.
And Gavin Smith's got past him. Gavin Smith has gone past both of them, or he's tried to. He's going around the outside at the hairpin, and he's going to try and do two in one go. What a great move from the Irishman, taking advantage if he can hold him off. Yeah, he says, oi, I'm going to have this place. Oh, and now Matt Neal's down the inside there. Hines goes sideways, gets it back together again. Oh, it's all happening this time.
Well, Matt Neal, to his credit at Paddock, did back out of the throttle very quickly, and Luke Hines did a great job to save it, but Gavin Smith coming through a full chap past them both. Fantastic driving by Gavin Smith, real opportunist passing.
Look at those two leaders, and Pickford, he's got a chance to get alongside this time as they run down towards Clearways. They are side by side, and Pickford's ahead. Will Collard try and squeeze him? Oh, they contact at Clearways. They're still side by side. Pickford's on the grass. He recovers, and the horns blare from the fans on the outside of Clearways. They had a great view of that, and Collard stays ahead. So Gavin Smith in third, Howell in fourth, Matt Neal in fifth place. For the last win of the year, a little bit of controversy again, as ever, in British touring cars. I wonder what Rob Collard and James Pickford will say to each other after that little incident. But Collard held on. He wasn't about to be beaten that easily, and the door was left open, and Rob Collard came through, snatched back the lead that he'd had from the very start when he started up front on his own. And it is Collard who is going to take victory. He wins the 30th and final race of the British Touring Car Championship of 2005. Collard takes victory. Second place goes to James Pickford. Third place will go to Gavin Smith, and our new champion Matt Neal finishes down in fifth.
So the final race of the season went to Rob Collard, who made a pretty good impression on the Tour this year. Behind him, the Seat of Pickford, then Smith in the Vauxhall, Howell taking fourth place, and it was Neal in fifth. But overall, Neal had done it in style. A brilliant 316 points. 273 to Muller in second place in the Vauxhall. Dan Eves' brilliant support in the other Honda in third place. But the abiding memory of the 2005 British Touring Car Championship was Matt Neal, champion at last.